Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. How you doing? We're doing something different today. Don't know how it's gonna go. Yes, people are gonna, you guys can call in. We're doing it through Discord. Happy birthday, Halloween Town. You did say today was your birthday, didn't you? Procagam, thanks for tier 3 for 20 months, says 20 whole months. I really need to start catching more streams. Overthought says new Amon animation dropped. Oh god.
Again, we are a society.
Oh god. Well, we're doing call-ins today, so it's not that. Thanks for the link, though. You're 22. Nice. Okay, so who wants to talk to me? This is the Discord. So if you want to talk to me, join the Discord and go into the waiting room channel, voice channel, and there's no specific time limit. It's loosey-goosey. This is the first time we're doing this. I don't know how this will go. No stuff that's against TOS, obviously. I'm just gonna have to nuke the VOD if you do that. It's not gonna help anyone. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Let's see, is there anyone in there already? No? Chat, just do it. Go to the Discord. This only works if people call. Bittergrin, thanks for 26 months. So I don't know, we'll talk for a while. Oh! There we go. We have some people. Let's drag one of these people in so we can talk to them. Evil Dead Guy, you're gonna be live. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You're a little choppy.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Okay, well you're live on the internet like I am every day. How does it feel? Feels? Okay, so what do you want to talk about? You decided to drop into the waiting room. I assume you had big brain take or question. No pressure.
Well, I don't want to cover anything too heavy necessarily, because, well, I like politics. That can be much.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just more ask, in your opinion, what is the better series, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh god. That's not even a hard question for me. Star Trek. I've never been the biggest Star Wars fan. I like it, it's fine. I own the movies.
Yeah.
But I've always been way more into Star Trek. I like utopian sort of future, and Star Wars is fine. It's just got that Dune aesthetic that I'm not fond of. If your sci-fi is primarily based in the desert, I'm probably not interested. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it, though. Why? What do you think?
Fair enough. Well, I'm just sort of starting to get into it. I started the 60 show, but it's a 60 show, so while it is better than a lot, it's still those tropes that I don't care for.
Yeah, I like 60s Shatner. It dates it so funny. It's weird because there's like these utopian ideals, but then every once in a while Shatner will be like, women, the weaker sex. The you know how women
honestly,
can't be
I don't even hate the show for like the effects budget or anything. Apparently someone told me that Lucille Ball is the reason that show got made, so they literally had like a shoestring to make it. So like
Yeah, she and
yeah.
Desilu Productions, I think, saved the show from getting canned. So, that's good.
1 minute. I have to take my dog.
Ice Firebird says Star Trek is fun for utopian adventure. Star Wars is fun for scrunkly little droids and corruption out the ass. That's true. I don't know. I don't like grimy space. It's too grimy. I like clean space. Okay, go ahead.
I'm back. Sorry. No, but I got into Lower Decks. That was way more my speed, and I have been reading the Boom Studio comics. I guess the newest Star Trek comics.
I haven't read those. I've
those
read,
are good.
I've read some of their Power Ranger stuff, which is okay, but
well, yeah. The Buffy stuff they do is good. I like their Buffy series, but
is that the one that's it's supposed to be like a continuation of the show when they're like in Scotland?
No. This is different. This is a reboot. Stuff has happened in it, but it's much more modern in a really healthy way. Like in the show, Willow was a lesbian, but that didn't happen until like the tail end of the series. At the start of this series, it's already established.
Okay.
So
well, that's good. I always thought that was kind of weird because she had that I don't want to get too spoilery for Buffy, I guess, but it's clear that they decided later she was going to be a lesbian and didn't really take into account any of the things that had happened early in the show with her relationships. But
I thought it worked okay because people have weird relations. Weird things happen to people, so there could be somebody that is. You could have somebody like not toxic Andrew Tate, and then they discover they're gay. So it's like it didn't. Bothered. But yeah, no, I was kind of mad what they did with her girlfriend. That's what pissed me off.
Oh God, what happened with her? No, wait, don't remind me. Did she die? She got shot. She got shot, right?
Yeah.
They were trying to shoot Buffy, and they just shot her with a gun.
And then they just they fridged her basically.
Yeah. Okay.
That kind of. To be fair, that last season kind of. The ending bit was cool. But other than that, kind of fell flat. Yeah. No. I don't know. With 60s shows. I mean, I'm not a sitcom person, but they're slower and their focus is a little different. So it's kind of the old 60s Star Trek is good, but it takes a little to get into for me.
I guess maybe am I just a boomer? I really like 60s Star Trek. Although, have you gotten into Next Gen yet?
I saw a few episodes of season 1 and kind of backed off, and I was told to skip the first 2 seasons. So
season 1's pretty bad. Season 2 is higher highs than season 1, but also lower lows. Season 3 they hit a stride though with Next Gen. So.
I do find it funny that in the new comics are like the movie universe Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek crew, and
like the Kelvinverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they went, without spoiling too much, they went into the stuff that Voyager and Deep Space Nine were dealing with, and I didn't know that immediately, so I was just kind of like, okay, this is a thing. These character, like, because it was just like, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
And it also makes me forget that this is canonically supposed to be back in time, even though it's way more forward with technology and progressiveness.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks for all the Star Trek questions. I think I'm going to move on to the next person, but I appreciate you being the first person for the call-in. Thank you.
No problem. You do great work, Hannah.
Oh.
I will watch you now and however long you make content.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I always get to see you in chat. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
All right, who am I going to bring in next? Let's see. We have Occult Comics and Meru-sama. Meru-sama was waiting first, I believe. So, hello, Meru-sama. Can you hear me?
Whoa, hello.
Oh, weird. Okay, hi. Like, yeah, I can actually hear your voice. It's weird when I've talked to people in chat, but then you actually get to talk to people. Probably not weird for you, because you hear my voice all the time, but I haven't talked to most of you.
Oh no, I actually used to do YouTube in the olden days, like before I think even you and Jake did it.
Mm-hmm.
Never like super popular, but so like I know that feeling. And it's also weird because I'm looking at the stream and it's of course delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's weird. I'm hoping I'm sounding okay. Of course, today I forgot my headphones, so I'm not doing headphones.
You sound okay. I can understand what you're saying and everything, so you're good.
Cool. I was just having a nice little chat with the Cult Comics while waiting, and I forgot what I was going to talk about. Nothing really too interesting, but I was forced to rewatch Avatar the other day.
The James Cameron movie? Or
The James Cameron movie,
okay.
yeah, and oh boy, did old hatred spew back up after watching that.
All right.
I can remember how much, if you've seen it.
I've seen Avatar. I've seen Avatar multiple times. I could probably even tell you the plot, believe it or not. I believe the military's there trying to get unobtainium. They named their MacGuffin mineral unobtainium.
Oh man, sorry.
And they got to kill the home tree because there's a bunch of they're gonna displace them or something. Real quick, I gotta read a thing. Mike Max with 21 months says, would you consider watching Super Sentai or Kamen Rider on your own time to see the difference? Like how people actually die in the series and basically come back as forced ghosts, or how the current team has a male Pink Ranger at some point maybe. But, it's Japanese, and that's too close to anime. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So sad that anime got ruined for you. There's some good stuff out there, but I get it. So I just gotta tell you about this scene that's in the first 30 minutes after his terrible, I think the main character's name is Jake. I literally just watched this last night.
Jake Sully. Jake Sully. I remember.
I can tell you that the main bad guy besides military guy is Moriarty. I don't remember his name, but it's the guy who plays Moriarty in Sherlock.
Oh, yeah, Andrew something, I think. I know.
I don't know
who he is.
But I don't know if anyone in chat knows because I don't talk about it very much, but I'm a bit of a writer. I keep my writing private, but I have a degree in it. I'm really passionate about the art of writing and storytelling and screenplays and all that stuff. So there's this opening scene with Sigourney Weaver and Moriarty. That's just what I'm going to call him, just Moriarty.
Sure.
And he forces her into this room and does the most expositioning scene I've ever heard in my life that completely enraged me. He's like, this is why we're here, to get unobtainium that will do the blah, 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 the thing we've been here for 4 years to do. And I literally had to pause the movie with my boyfriend, and we sat for 30 minutes just workshopping how that scene could be better, because it was so enraging. It's like there's a rule in writing where it's you never do as you know. As you know, we're blah, blah, blah.
Right, because they know. They should know. Yeah. You need a narrative reason that the things come up naturally. You want to show, not tell, or if you're going to tell, you should have a good reason.
Exactly. So, you're right. There's literally no reason for these two characters to have this conversation. They know. Why is Jake, I don't remember his name.
Jake Sully. He's a hero. He's in one of the he's in two of the highest grossing films of all time. How can you not remember iconic character Jake Sully?
He's the white dude that figured out that if the tribes unite and he got a big red bird, they might just win.
It took the white guy to teach them that political alliances can be expedient.
They never once thought about politics. They just like to sit under their tree with their hair and make noise. That's all they need to do.
You just spend all day hooked up with your hair penis, hooked up to your horse, and you just hang out,
It sucks too, because you can tell so many people spend a lot of time world building, and then it's just all so boring.
Yeah, it's in service of nothing.
And I've been told by friends who saw the second one in theaters, I don't know why they did that, but I've been told by friends that 2 is exactly the same, but in water.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good. Good.
I'm not gonna.
They're staying hydrated.
hydrate. You gotta do that. But yeah, I just, First time talking to you, Hannah. I still gotta send you a big box of Doctor Who stuff eventually.
I gotta get a P.O. box. I had one, but Jake and I guarantee that P.O. box doesn't... We don't have that anymore, so I gotta get a new one anyway, but...
I like how there's a part of you that's not 100% sure if you have that P.O. box.
It's somewhere out in the ether. P.O. boxes are complicated, okay? It would require me to actually interact.
I was gonna send it like forever ago, and I'm glad I didn't, because it probably would have been lost in the P.O. box ether.
Yeah.
Got some cool Doctor Who stuff in there.
Cool.
But yeah, that's all I got. If you got more people waiting.
I do. So I appreciate you calling in, though. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for talking, and give my love to the kitties.
I will. Have a good night.
Bye.
Let's see. Let's do Occult Comics next. I hope you're ready, Occult Comics.
Oh!
Hello.
Hello.
I sense a goblin. How are you?
Doing? I'm small and I am loud and I chit-chat and I am not full of broken glass.
Oh, that seems suspicious. I've never felt the need to tell other people I'm not full of broken glass because I'm not.
Well,
seems kind of
I'm
specific.
definitely not full of broken glass,
Okay.
and broken glass is definitely not blood-flavored.
Okay. Well, I'm not a lizard person in a human skin suit that I stole off someone at the bus station. So anyway, what's up?
Yes,
What's
yes,
up?
we are perfectly normal human beings. Not much. This is interesting. I like this a lot. This, like, calling through feeling is very cool. So long-time listener, I know we've never spoken before. But I do want to ask you about a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay, so you're a Power Rangers fan.
I am.
I've had the stream muted a bit because I'm trying to, I was talking in the waiting room and stuff. And I wanted to know your opinion on the very short-lived Kamen Rider adaptation that Bandai tried to do
the one
back
they
in
had they had the backdoor pilot on Power Rangers for that, right?
Yes, it was Masked Rider, and they had, it was very Kamen Rider. I'm a huge Kamen Rider fan. I watch them and everything because they're live-action anime. That's the allure to me.
Yeah.
And, what did you think about them trying to adapt that? How did you ever watch through it?
This is going to be the worst answer ever. I didn't watch it other than, I'm sure at the time I watched the, Power Rangers episode that introduced the character and was the backdoor pilot, but I don't even remember it. I really don't, and I know that's the worst answer.
No, this is okay. I have backup questions.
Okay.
Okay, pivoting super
Pivot.
hard to pivot. Okay, Superman. This has been on my mind for a long time. Okay.
Comic
When it comes to
Superman,
Superman,
or...
Superman in general as, a bit of mythology, right?
Okay.
As a character.
Sure.
Two-part thing. One, and this is trivial, but I care. What is your opinion on how to adapt the Trunks?
Let me look at some things real quick. I'll even show it on the screen, which is probably for you gonna be, late, but, let me...
I can visualize. I'm a visual person.
Okay.
I can imagine, big blue Boy Scout, red underwear on the outside. I'm a big fan of the Trunks, personally.
Oh, I am too. I don't like when they don't include it, and it's not I know it's not a hot take, but the red, outside of the actual...
It breaks up the blue.
It breaks up the blue. It's kind of like how Sonic, and this is a meme, basically, because of Chris Chan, but, Sonic, when they turned Sonic's arms blue, as much as that was a meme, Sonic does look better with the flesh-colored arms. You need something to break up the solid color.
I did a redraw of that once with a friend of mine, and if you put goggles on his head, running goggles, and a red scarf, it works.
Okay.
Plus, one of the designs, they wrapped his arms and his feet in little band-aids, like little ace bandages. So it was he had, grip on his hands, and, he would run into things, and, so he'd, have guards on his knees and shit. I could see the Superman stuff, though.
Yeah. The Zack Snyder Man of Steel Superman looks... I hate the Man of Steel costume.
I feel you there.
I kind of like the texture, actually. The fact that it's little S's all over it. The House of L stuff. But, it needs red. And I'm not even saying it needs to be actual Trunks, though you could, and I don't think there's a problem with that. But at least make that part red. It's an alien
I've seen edits
battle
of that.
suit, so just say
Like
it.
like the pseudo belt that's there on the rib cage and everything.
Yeah,
I've seen
just-
that like turned red with a gold like belt buckle area.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm hopefully I don't have a lot of hope for the Warner Brothers movie stuff coming out, but in terms of live action, I'm glad James Gunn is doing the Superman movie. I generally like James Gunn.
Yeah, same. I've heard a little bit about it, so I don't know what you've heard.
I know it's
for the movie.
It's younger Superman, and it's about him dealing with the sort of dichotomy of being raised as a human but having these godlike powers, which I think is, if you're gonna do it, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
So the film's gonna be called Superman Legacy, and as far as I'm aware, I think what they're gonna do is sort of a reverse New 52. Because back when the New 52 came out, the whole goal was to make the characters younger, sexier, and edgier. So they removed a lot of Superman's moral compass and Boy Scoutness to make him a little bit like harder edge, which I'm totally against because he's one of the few characters I like, being a big doofy Boy Scout boy.
Agreed.
And I think they're gonna drag him back to that and like sort of pin him as a young, but like that naive, like bright-eyed, like, oh, the world can't possibly have problems. I'm a little Kansas farm boy. I drink milk as a beverage, like
Sure.
that kind of vibe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Fingers
I'm into
crossed.
that.
You see, I have one other question, Superman costume related.
Okay.
And then I'll free you from my my insidious goblin trap. And I'm a little controversial about this. I hate this.
Okay.
The S on the back of the cape.
Oh, wait. Are you pro or anti?
I am anti S on the back of the cape
Oh,
for a particular reason.
I'm very anti-S on the cape. I don't like it. I think it's overkill. I think it's redundant.
Thank you
It's
for
so
having
redundant.
excellent taste. The only person it works on is the Frank Quietly artwork. Like I see the All-Star Superman design there.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever seen it and liked it. But because like in the Quietly lore for All-Star Superman, it's the blanket he was wrapped in as a baby. Like
Yes.
that's his cape.
Yes, I remember that.
I
That's
hate-
actually in several
Yeah.
iterations. That's the lore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like that died for me when I heard, like, I saw it in the comic. I can't remember what it was, but it was like Ma Kent made him the cape out of the blanket she made for him
Yeah.
because she used to read superhero comics and she was like, a proper superhero has a cape, and Clark's like, thanks Ma, you made my costume. And that just like it gives me warm fuzzy feelings. I like when Superman's just a doofy big old guy. He's got big himbo energy.
I want to know what superheroes Superman was reading about. Hypothetically, like this was it the Spirit? Who the fuck was Superman reading about?
I don't know. Like, we've got like weird layers of like meta superhero things. Like, fuck, in Marvel. Well, no, I can't use Marvel because in Marvel Comics exists as a business.
DC Comics also exists in the
Yeah.
Marvel Comics universe, and Marvel Comics
True.
actually exists in the DC Comics universe.
True.
So-
I know that, like, yeah, I know for a fact Spider-Man, the greatest superhero who's ever been written, the greatest character in fiction, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise. I know I'm delusional, but I have that right. He read Superman comics as a kid.
Mhm.
That's one of the reasons he chooses red and blue for his costume, which I love Peter Parker. Current Sebwell run sucks though. Why would he work with Norman Osborn? Why would he ever? Why?
Is he still
Why
rich
still-
currently? Are they still doing the Peter Parker Industries shit?
No, Parker Industries crashed and burned. I actually like that run because the whole point was Parker is awful at it and doesn't want it because he's dealing with the fallout of Superior Spider-Man. In the current run, which is going to set your head on fire, he is working for a reformed Norman Osborn and is using a goblin glider as part of his standard costume that Osborn designed. Mary Jane is dating a guy who looks exactly like Zeb Wells, the writer, and she's raising his two kids who call him mom. Peter is completely alone, super depressed, has no one, and in one of the more recent issues, he fought the Vulture of all people, and I like the Vulture. He's up there, like, for swinging, like good Spider-Man villains, but he called Norman Osborn's help, desperately begging for him to save him because the Vulture was gonna kill him. And it's like, Peter, in his standard PJs suit, has beaten the Sinister Six. And the Vulture is like, I'm gonna get you. I got wings. I'm kind of strong. I kick real hard.
He's doing his
Like,
best.
He is, and it's so painful because just let Peter be married. Give me Mayday Parker. I want Mayday Parker back. She's so cool.
Mephisto
Also,
and, more importantly, Marvel editorial doesn't agree with you.
It hurts. Last thing I'll say, then bring someone else on.
Okay.
There's a canonical trans Spider-Man. There's Spider-Woman in the Ultimate comic book series is a clone version of Peter Parker whose biological sex ends up getting transferred. Like she comes out of the cloning tube as a woman, and she's just like Peter from her perspective, right? And she calls herself Jessica Drew and everything. And at a point, she's like, "Wow, this is like so much better." Holy shit! Which implies Ultimate's Peter Parker is trans. And that's awesome. I want him to come out. It'd be great.
Well, that's nice. Good for Peter, or May, or not May. What did you say, Jessica Drew? Good for Jessica. Bad for original Ultimate Peter, I guess. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, crack his egg. Why not?
Yeah.
All right, I'll sign off with MJ Pigs Peter. Love y'all. Bye.
It was good talking to you.
It's good talking to you too.
Alright, let's see. First name bunch of numbers says you're both hereby certified.
That's a human person.
Oh my god, true. We are human people.
Yes, we are definitely human people, and nothing can stop. Well, I'm a little goblin. My human intern is the one you've probably seen like flesh pictures of. I will punish them for any kind of posing as the goblin that is on this channel.
I hope you do.
I will. They're a nasty little creature.
Alright, have a good night.
You too.
Ender92, thanks for 32 months, says, howdy, how's the call-ins going? Pretty good. Pretty good so far. H-Bird said, since his costume is an inanimate object from Krypton, why is it not kryptonite? Because kryptonite was formed from the explosion, not just being from Krypton. It's like the material on the planet had to get exploded or something. I'm not the biggest DC person, but that's my understanding. All right, let's see. Citosaurus, you're about to be brought in, so prepare all your faculties. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going. I'm a little nervous.
You're good. Don't worry about it. I sit in front of people all the time and talk, and let me tell you, no one gives a shit. They'll forget about it immediately. It's fine. It's disposable entertainment. You can say the dumbest things. You can say really dumb stuff. I do all the time. So what's up?
I mostly just wanted to come and say hi, and see what your opinion is on horror movies. So as far as elevated horror goes, are you a fan or no?
Yeah, recently I watched, Men. Have you seen Men? Came out?
No, I heard that was super creepy though.
It was good. A24 has been putting out a ton of amazing horror stuff in the last 3 or 4 years. I saw Men from them recently, which is awesome. What else? I gotta look at their recent stuff, but like Hereditary and Midsommar.
Oh, that broke me. They both broke me.
But yeah, I have a huge horror collection, as I'm sure you and many people in the chat know. I have a large Blu-ray collection, and I have everything from like dog shit grindhouse B movies that no one's seen in 30 years to like brand new stuff like X and Pearl, which came out, which were both quite good. I liked Pearl better than X, but they're both pretty good.
I've been meaning to watch Pearl. That looked pretty trippy.
Have you seen X?
No.
Pearl is this prequel to X. You can watch Pearl first, though. You don't need to see X to see Pearl. Pearl, I think, is the better movie, even though it's the sequel-prequel thing.
Ah.
But they're both good. Mia Goth is very talented. She writes and stars in those. I don't know if she directs them, but she's very good. Were there any specific movies you were thinking about?
Oh, mostly I just wanted to know if you were more of a fan of like the elevated horror or the basic like standard slasher or I'm alone in the house and someone's gonna break in sort of shit.
I really like both, but if I had to choose, I'm a big slasher fan, but that's mostly because I grew up watching a lot of slashers on cable and HBO and Showtime and stuff. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, all of them, even the really bad ones, are my fucking jam. I own those and all of the Friday the 13th and all the Halloween movies and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Alice, Sweet Alice and Leprechaun and Chucky and everything. So, like, I like those as mindless, fun things to watch, because I've seen them many times, but I really, really have been enjoying some of these more slow-paced, thoughtful horror movies, suspense films. Like, The Menu came out somewhat recently, and that was really good, too. I think that was also A24, which is arguably a horror movie, kind of a suspense horror thing.
The trailer looked pretty trippy for that. I was just kind of like, oh my god, he's going back to his scary roots there.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. I'd recommend that, but I don't know. I like different flavors of horror, but if I had to pick, like if it was you're on a desert island and you only get one kind, I'd go slasher.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Scream movies.
Yeah.
That probably sounds cliche, but
Did you see
I love them.
the I don't even know what to call them anymore, because it's a sequel, but it's like a sequel reboot thing that happened.
Oh yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah, the one that was just called Scream. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was odd. I mean, I was not a fan of one particular thing that happened that I'm sure you're aware of, with a certain person kicking the bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was always, rooting for them.
Yeah.
But I the new lead is not my favorite.
Sure, fair enough. I liked the movie. Just, I like it as a slasher sequel, but bear in mind, like, I am completely fine with really bad sequels as long as the kills are fun or interesting, because so many slasher sequels are that, kind of a bad movie, but at least the kills can be fun. So I was fine with the new Scream, and I'm excited for the new one. I don't know if it'll be good, but...
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It kind of creeps me out a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just a fan of Sydney. Maybe it's because we share a name. But,
yeah. I like Sydney. Sydney's, I think, my favorite final girl, and I like Laurie Strode a lot, but I don't know. Sydney's my favorite, and I really, really hope they don't kill her at any point in the series. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it would be shitty.
Yeah, they can't do. I heard she's not coming back, but they better not do like in the newspaper she died or something. That would be bullshit.
I'm fine if she just rides off into the sunset and never has to deal with this shit again, but don't kill her. I think that would be shitty for the character and for the series. The entire point is she's an ultimate survivor, and it would be terrible. Yeah. Real quick, let me get to some of these. Shiroshi Ryo. With 10 months, thank you. Occult Comics with 100 bits says, Hannah, chances of doing a Giallo movie night? No one will make me watch Dario Argento. It's just Italian anime. Anonymous, thanks for gifting a sub and kicking off a hype train. I don't like Black Glove Murders, I'm sorry. I know it was instrumental in the foundations of the slasher film in the United States, but I don't care for Dario Argento. Don't be mad at me! Anyway, anything else?
No, not really. I was trying really hard to come up with something to talk about. I hope this was okay.
It was great. Thank you for hanging out for a minute and asking a question.
And thanks for always being here streaming. You're awesome.
You're awesome. Glad to talk to you.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, we are on a hype train, 69% to level 1. Nice. Let's see. Let's bring in Jay Rodimus, and then we'll get Aaron in here. Jay, hello?
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't wait for the delay on that one. I probably surprised you.
No, it's fine. Like you were starting to get to the transition into the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for all the great content. Helps when I'm trying to I like to have stuff on in the background when I'm doing tedious stuff. So the big VODs, the fun videos is always nice to have.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you watched the show. Thank you. It still surprises me that anyone watches this show. I don't know why. My thoughts are free to me, so.
Like, I don't know. I just like it. It's one of those ways it helps me keep in touch with what's going on around me in a way that has like levity.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't always feel so soul crushing.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad I can help
yeah.
alleviate a little bit of the soul crush that we all go through on a daily basis and the never-ending grind that is the 21st century.
Yeah.
Real quick,
so
just so I don't get behind, I gotta do a thing. I apologize. Thrashemio,
do what you gotta do.
Thanks for 200 bits. Right Said Rob, thanks for 22 months. And Steve with a Q with 420 bits. Blaze it. 34% to level 2. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that.
So let's see. So I guess first, small question. I know you're not a big DC person, but have you seen like the James Gunn rollout?
Like the roadmap for their upcoming projects? Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. What do you think so far?
I don't know. At this point, I'm just gonna get excited for individual films, like the Batman 2 I'm excited about, Joker 2 I'm excited about, even like Batman, I forget what it's called, but the one they're doing with Batman and Damian Wayne I think could be interesting.
Yeah.
Supergirl might be interesting. I don't know. I'm interested individually in the movies, but I have no faith in Warner Brothers to be able to actually remain or produce a consistent franchise in any way. So we'll just see what happens.
Because I have faith in James Gunn, and I'm excited for what he has in store. I don't really trust Warner Brothers at all, and I don't want them to fuck it up.
No.
But,
and right now
we'll see.
Right now, from what I understand, too, they're giving James Gunn a decent deal of freedom, and the other creators a decent deal of freedom. But they supposedly were doing the same thing with Zack Snyder. It happens that Zack Snyder's not good, so in my opinion,
right.
I've said this before.
In mine as well. Like I still have to like watch those movies because I would like to form a full opinion, but everything I've heard makes me not want to watch them.
Yeah. And I've said this before. I have nothing personal against the man Zack Snyder. I don't think he's necessarily a chud. I could be wrong, but like chuds certainly like his shit, although he's made fun of them, which is funny. But either way,
it is funny.
I think. Sorry, I have a tendency to talk over people, especially over the internet.
No, it's okay. I have the same exact thing. But yeah, no, it was funny though when he drew that picture of Batman eating out and said canon.
That's true.
Because DC is wrong because like they think he doesn't, but if anybody does, he does.
They treat it like eating the box is somehow a bad thing. I don't get it.
It's some like heteronormative nonsense. Not even heteronormative. That's just sexist.
Yeah. One more time, real quick. Miss Quilanius, thanks for 19 months, is currently working on a menu for a gaming night. First one in months. Got any recipe suggestions? Cheese! Buy cheese! It's not a recipe, but I don't know how to cook. And JP Black with 16 months says, I'm at work, so I can't call in, but I was wondering what your opinion on the Orville is. I've only seen like the first 3 episodes. I thought they were okay, but it seemed too Seth MacFarlane-y. I've heard it gets more serious as the show goes on, and it kind of changes tone. Might be good, just haven't seen it. All right. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. It's still a stream, so do what you gotta do.
Just juggling. And Citosaurus, thanks for gifting us up. All right.
So I guess the other question I do have in mind is like, I want to start. I definitely want to start content creating and have a general idea of what I want to do. But just there's like it's such like a mix because I want to make content about the stuff I like comics and games and stuff, but I also want to contribute to like leftist content because that's what got me over.
Sure.
Is like leftist content online is like helped me like form my full opinions and actually like and I very well could have fallen down a very bad rabbit hole if it wasn't for leftist content.
Yeah.
So like I would like to contribute back into that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like do you have like advice? And I know that like there were some contexts where like doing political content online can be dangerous.
Sure. Real quick, Nemesaur, Colboth, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
Holy shit.
I know, Nemesaur is fucking awesome. And Alex the Blight, thanks for 16 months. So, when I think about content creation, firstly, do it, and I know this is general advice that YouTubers and Twitch people give, but I gotta give it, because it's the most important piece of advice. Make sure, first and foremost, you're enjoying it. Don't do something because you're like, well, the market or the community might like this, so I should do it this way specifically, if that's something you don't like. Now, if it's something you do like, by all means, maximize, you know, your whatever you want to call it, maximize your, I don't know, ability to reach an audience, but make sure that whatever you're doing, in this case talking about movies or games or whatever, you're doing it whatever way you enjoy doing it, not how you think an audience will necessarily. And if you want to do it in a left-leaning, like, context, absolutely do it. I think that's so important. Because on the one hand, there are channels that, like, are all about political shit and just post about, oh, here's the thing that's happening in the news or whatever. But I think more than that, what gets people into, how do I put this, changing their political alignments and reconsidering ideas are in spaces where we're not directly talking about politics. When we're talking about things like media, movies, comic books, games, or whatever, you see the quartering and people like him use this to great effect just for the right, you know?
True.
He's using the same thing, and he talks about these things, but he's really using them as a proxy to talk about his reactionary grievances. Now, I think that there are tons of lefties on YouTube who do the same thing, you know, a lot of video essayists who use a movie or a game or whatever as a jumping off point to talk about some social or economic inequality, and I think there's a lot of room for that. So I think that's a really good idea. In terms of being worried about getting threatened and stuff, probably gonna happen to anyone who gets any amount of popularity on the internet, but it's okay. They don't do anything, in my experience, and I've been doing this for 10 years, so...
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it's funny, like, it is weird how, like, so I started with, like, Jake's newer content, and, like, your guys' shared newer content, and then your newer content.
Yeah.
Going through your backlog, like, I remember it was specifically, like, I was playing through Ghost of Tsushima and trying to do all the side objectives, and I just had, like, the old TBR backlog in the background while I was doing it. It is trippy going through the backlog with, like, how different your guys' content is now, and especially since I started with the newer stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I've gone back and watched some of the movie reviews, and some of those hold up, but it's hard to look at me. For me, no, for other people, it's probably fine.
I completely understand that.
But
it was funny. Like, I turned on, like, I think it was the Dorby's review. I was like, oh, they have a Dorby's review, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it took me an embarrassing amount of time to put it together.
Well, that's good. That's good news for me.
No, I assume, like, that's yeah, no, I figured that'd be good news, but yeah, like, that was just, yeah, but no, and thanks so much for the advice, and I definitely do, like, I want to talk about these things, because there's this big misconception that, like, oh, like, these things, like, weren't political when I was a kid. It's like, yes, they were.
Yeah, they were just kids, and, like, and didn't pick up on it.
And then when you make it clear that, yes, they were political, they try to say they were subtle. And it's like, they weren't. If anything, they were, at least when I was a kid, they were less subtle. Like, there's a Justice League Unlimited episode called Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Like, that is not, like, that's not subtle.
No.
That's not subtle at all.
Not even a little.
Yeah, which, have you seen JLU?
Yeah, I own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I do too. I'm jealous of your Blu-ray collection.
You should be. I own almost the entire Deanie-verse on Blu-ray, so I have most of the animated stuff.
I don't even. Yeah, no, I think they're close to releasing most of it.
Yeah, the Superman animated series came out. The Batman animated series came out. Justice League Unlimited. There's some movies that I don't have, but they're the bad ones. So.
Wait, which movies?
The Killing Joke. And
oh yeah, that's not even Timverse, thank God.
I thought it was. Is it not?
It's not.
No, he worked on it though, didn't he?
Yeah, he worked on it. It's just not. It's not Timverse as much as he insists on putting Bruce and Barbara together in everything he touches.
I hate that. That's my least favorite.
is such an ick pairing.
Like, imagine if you...
He likes it so much.
Like, imagine if Batman and Robin hooked up. It's the same thing, and it wouldn't be wrong because they're both dudes. It's wrong because they have a surrogate child, surrogate parent dynamic. Like,
that's also, like, your best friend's kid.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Because, like, I always assumed, like, he's fairly close in age. Not close in age to Gordon. He's closer in age to Gordon than he is to Barbara.
Yeah.
So it's like, ew.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so yeah, that's not in the Timverse. The only movies that are in the Timverse is like it's Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Mystery of the Batwoman. Then they did. Wasn't
the Harley Quinn movie from? I don't have that one, but I have the earlier animated series ones.
And then like Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which is a recent one that is actually pretty good.
Oh, okay, I don't have that.
And it has like some of the Legion of Superheroes characters in it.
Okay.
Have you read any like the recent comics?
Real quick, I gotta do some stuff and then I'll answer. Alex the Blight, thanks for 16 months. KF Logan, thanks for the raid. I know we got a shout out for KF Logan. Check him out. And was there anything else? I don't think so. All right, the comics. No, I read Marvel more than DC. DC I know mostly through like the movies and TV shows and stuff.
Right. I
do have some like trade paperbacks and stuff of some DC stuff. Like I have the first 4 or so editions of like the Scott Snyder New 52 Batman, which I actually enjoyed the parts I read, but except the Mr. Freeze retcon. The Mr. Freeze retcon was stupid.
That it's like, and it frustrates me because that issue is actually really well written, but I was like, I don't like that change.
Yeah. It felt like an attempt to be like, oh, you like the Mr. Freeze Nora Freeze story. What if we made him fucking crazier and he doesn't even know her?
Oh my god. Like, that was... Yeah, and luckily, like, that is, as far as I know, undone. Like, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, Rebirth rebooted everything, I think.
Like, yeah, don't even... So, like, I have been, like, catching up, basically, quote-unquote, on like the big events, and I'm almost caught up now. I'm almost at Dark Crisis, which is their current one. And as far as undoing the New 52, it has been like they have been between like editorial shifts and like Dan DiDio stepping down from his position and then coming back and then just I think being fired. They have like been like doing 2 steps forward and 1 step back in terms of undoing New 52, like up until like now. It has been absurd to like read it all in this like short span of time.
Wasn't there a time when New 52 Superman and Rebirth and like pre-Flashpoint Superman were in the same world or something?
Yep, that was a thing for a while, but then they got combined, and that was when undoing New 52 started. And it was like, okay, we have like a straight path forward. And then like Wally was supposed to be a big part of it, and then DiDio came back, so Wally got character assassinated for a bit. But he's fine now. It's just all the back and forths. And they even have a character who they can scapegoat all of their editorial nonsense to. Because they said all these events that seem like it should be happening at the same time, it's because this villain is fucking with Hypertime. It's like
the time
cube.
Sure.
It's like sure. But yeah, I am reading some Marvel though. Like I'm reading the current Sam Wilson Captain America. Like I'm following that, and that's been really good so far. I mean, I'm glad he's back to being Captain America.
I'm not up to date right now on Marvel. I've been going back and reading stuff that I missed or don't remember very well. So I've been rereading the Winter Soldier arc. I don't know. I need to catch up. Other than that, I haven't like read a bunch of the new Marvel stuff. After like Secret Wars, I stopped like keeping up with stuff. I don't know why, and I've seen stuff post Secret Wars that like are good. I just haven't like actually sat down and read full series in a while.
Yeah, like I'll like go on and off full series. Like I recently finally went back and read all of the Scott Snyder Justice League, which I would highly recommend. That was actually like really, really good. Like a nice like it was like a 30, like he was on it for like 37, 39 issues. So that's like, I don't know, like 4 some trades, and it's like nice and self-contained mostly. Like it goes into like, I think like 1 crossover with Aquaman, but I think that's contained in the trades.
Okay.
and like it leads into death metal, and I'd say read death metal at your own risk.
I've heard a lot of the metal stuff has been good, and now they're with the what is
it's
the
not
thing
that it's
with
bad.
Go ahead.
It's not that death metal is bad. Like I like Dark Knight's metal and death metal.
Okay.
It's just it is Scott Snyder at his most unhinged.
Okay. Is this the stuff
Like-
with the evil Joker Batman? I forget his name.
Yep, Batman Who Laughs,
Okay.
and like all of the evil Batman. It's like
That seems gratuitous.
it's like if the Spider-Verse was evil, and Batman.
I get it. That feels, and it might be campy fun. It might be like silly fun. To me, it sounds kind of fanficky. Like, what if Batman had to fight a bunch of evil Batmans?
It's all a bit fanficky, but it's like if you're up for that, it's a really fun read, and there's a lot of really good parts.
Yeah.
And like it's got good like emotional resonance because like that's the thing Scott Snyder tends to do really well. But dear God, it's so fucking unhinged. There's an evil baby Batman in a MODOK chair.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
And then Owlman is like, I'm going to survive this and you won't because I'm a better idea than you. Like, not even paraphrasing much. He basically says, I'm going to survive this and you won't because I'm a better idea.
Genius. He's got genre savvy, but not. He's Dunning-Kruger genre savvy in that he thinks he's better than Batman. In a
well,
meta
like he's better.
sense.
No, so Owlman specifically is saying he's better than like evil baby Batman in a MODOK chair.
Oh, I see.
He's like you will be forgotten after you die.
Yeah, true.
Like it is like because that's the thing with Scott Snyder is you have to be up for like fourth wall breaking shit like that, where they like it's. And you know what? You might even end up hating Ace because it's very anime in how unhinged it gets.
Maybe, but I'll give it a shot someday.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of in modern DC. I really hope they just slow down with the comics because there's a lot of really good individual stories and arcs. But looking at it all and like the perspective I have, where I'm like reading all like the biggest events in the last few years, like in sequence, I'm like, man, like the universe has been at stake like 10 times in like the last like 5 years.
Yep. They're addicted to the big event comics.
It's like chill out a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been fun reads at least, and at least they finally stopped yanking Wally West around. Like, there's a part in Death Metal where like he's like, man, I am just so sick of all of this. Wonder Woman just gives him a hug, and that felt like it was just trying to console all the readers. Like, we're sorry we've been yanking him around for like 5 years and having the worst possible things happen to him. Yeah, like but yeah, thanks for all the advice. And before I go off on another tangent, I will open it up for the next person.
All right, real quick. Ashy Boo's sub baby. Name a sub baby. Name this sub baby.
Oh, me name the sub baby.
Yes, name it.
What's the name of that fucking Daedric prince that likes cheese?
Sheogorath.
Yeah, Sheogorath.
All right, this baby's name is Sheogorath.
Cheese for everyone.
Well, thanks. It was good talking to you, Jay.
All right, good talking to you too.
All right, adios.
I appreciate you.
All right, let's see. Real quick. Of course, we just named Ashy Boo's baby. 27 months, I believe that's my third sub baby. My uterus is getting tired of this, I bet. All right, let's bring Aaron in. Hello? Hello? Hola? ¿Cómo está? Hello? Are you muted? Can you hear me? Here in the chat. Hello? Hello? No. Yes. Hello? You're muted. Hello? Alright, I'm gonna put Aaron back in the room until maybe back at the mic. Might be AFK for a sec. Okay. Let's see who else. I don't know what order people got in here, so I'm just gonna randomly grab. Let's go with What About Bob? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, you're here. Hi.
Hey.
What's up?
Just like to thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate it. Over the almost 10 plus years. You know, I sorry, it's a little bit. With all the people listening.
Don't worry about it. I assure you, the people in this chat have the lowest standards on the internet. They watch me all the time. If I can entertain people, you're golden. You're golden.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys for you and Jake for a very long time. So it's almost like meeting someone that you've watched, listened to for. It's like this is something different. It's like exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I appreciate what you guys have done. I've, when you first came out, I was like, okay, I'm happy that you came out. And at first I was kind of like, and after I started learning more about it, and I was like, started learning more about it, and I was like, okay, this is good for you because this is how you, I didn't understand it at first, but after starting learning everything that came to it, I was like, this is what this is about, because I didn't know anyone that was trans ever in my family, my friends, or anything like that. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad that I can be an example to people to know, like, hey, we're just people doing our best, not scary people with ill intent,
Yeah. Because I know quite a few gay people in my life, but I didn't know any trans people.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to set you as like a pedestal for all the trans people, but I'm glad that you're out here, and thanks for doing what you do.
Well, no problem. I'm glad that you've enjoyed and gotten value out of what I've been doing on the internet for the last 10 years. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I can't... glad that you're still doing it, and hopefully you continue to have a good career with whatever you do in the future.
I'll do my best. This is my only skill, so if this falls apart, I'm fucked.
Yeah. I didn't really have much to say other than I appreciate what you do, and hopefully you continue to have good luck.
You too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say...
You're okay. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Deep breath. Let's do it together. Ready?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, but...
Good.
Let's see. Is there any other media that you collect? You said that you're always much more... You like the physical media. Do you like...
I pretty much just do Blu-rays. I have some laser discs, but other than that, I don't really collect anything, I don't think. I have a decent number of books, but, I wouldn't say I collect them as much as I just acquire them occasionally. But I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, you got a lot of people stacking up now, so I will just say thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry,
You're okay, don't apologize. I know. I'm the kind of person who apologizes all the time, too, for no reason.
Yeah,
You're good.
You're
good.
That's what I do. That's one of my things that I have to work on myself, because I have lots of things that I have to work on.
Don't we all?
Yep.
All right, have a good night. It was good talking with you.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I think Aaron got a mic working, so let's give that a shot. Hello?
Oh, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh.
Hello?
I never imagined my voice would come out this funny.
You sound fine.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I'm checking back into. I'm right now looking into the Discord direct messages, and I remember pinning some of my submissions to one particular cringe Pokemon fan. Almost like a Pokemon equivalent of Christian.
I mean, that's 50% Christian anyway. Sonichu is, in fact, half, Pikachu, so kind of.
Now, I was thinking... I wonder when would we be good to like cover Precious Leaf on a Cringe stream?
Yeah,
a future one.
Probably whenever the next Cringe stream is, which will be what's today? Monday. Sometime before Friday, I'm sure we'll do a Cringe stream and I'll cover it. I just have to take a time to sit down and actually look at all the links you sent because I know you sent a bunch. So
that's why I made sure to keep it pinned for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Anyways, that's all I gotta say.
Alright, well, it was good talking to you, and I do appreciate the stuff you sent. I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Alright. Have a good day.
Alright.
Alright, let's see who's next. Let's go That XY Girl. Giving you a second to get ready. And now you're live on the internet. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, what's going on?
Nothing much. Back from a day of teaching.
Oh!
Hanging out and catching your stream like I usually do.
Public school?
Public school.
Oh, well, you're not paid well enough. That's a shame.
Thank you. My county is better than the other ones in my area, but...
That's good. So what's on your mind?
I wanted to pick your mind about some games. Have you seen that Marvel Midnight Suns?
I played the demo, actually, because I have an Xbox, and for, like, Games Pass, they had, like, a 2-hour demo. I've enjoyed it a decent bit. I don't normally like turn-based, but, I don't know, the card thing, and the story's kind of cute and comic booky, so I've been enjoying it. Once I get paid later in the month on the 14th, I'll probably pick up the full version or something.
Alright. It's got its Deadpool DLC, so...
I saw that. I did. I don't know if I'll like it or not. Deadpool can either be done very well or very bad, so...
Absolutely.
And honestly, your mood at the time kind of determines if it's good or bad. Are you in the mood for LOL random chimichangas, or, you know...
I had a running gag with one of my neighbors, like, when we were little middle schoolers growing up, that, like... One day we'd be able to see a Deadpool movie together, and I would, when it came out, I was the only one of the two of us who was old enough to go into theaters. So,
well, at least the Deadpool movies were good.
Yeah, absolutely, I enjoyed them. Otherwise, could I tell you about a cool TTRPG?
Sure.
It's one I think you'll like. It's called Masks.
Okay.
It is a Powered by the Apocalypse game about playing teenaged superheroes. And
I think I've actually vaguely heard of this. Someone told me about this at some point. Maybe it was you in chat. I don't know.
It might have been me. Yes, I am a big proponent of Masks.
Okay.
But like it has inset mechanics about like confronting adulthood and reaching maturity and like boosting your power, but in a way that's holistic.
Okay.
To the character.
Sure. That makes sense for like a superhero thing. Yeah, okay. I dig that.
Yeah. It's all coming of age stories, and you can play all these different tropey heroes. Like I played a Doomed, which is sort of Raven's subtype. I played a character named Nightbane.
Like Raven from like the Teen Titans?
From Teen Titans, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Later.
You have a great night.
You too. Oh, I see Ren's there. Let's join. Hello. Hello?
I was muted.
There you go. I know you. What's up?
You know me? Wow.
I know. How's it going?
I just got back home from visiting my boyfriend, so I missed the first bit. Have we done the Harry Potter game?
No one's asked anything about the Harry Potter game.
So what's One, I think it looks like dog shit. I don't know if you've seen any gameplay of it, but
I did. I don't think the combat looks fun. I don't know how, like, the RPG elements are going to be, or if exploring Hogwarts will be any good, but I have no interest for obvious reasons. You know, I don't know. Like, as a kid, I really liked the movie games, like Chamber of Secrets on, like, PS2. Rad.
I think I still have the one I had for my computer.
Yeah.
Somewhere in my house.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you know, I just don't want to put money in J.K. Rowling's pocket. Now,
Yeah.
that said, if other people, I'm not gonna yell at you for whatever other people are doing. It's whatever. I just don't think it's great. I don't think it's good to give her money, but whatever.
I mean, I disagree. I think you cannot be an advocate for trans rights and buy this game.
Fair enough.
What was it? Sorry, ADHD.
You're good. You seem nervous.
Oh, yeah.
You stream all the time. Why are you nervous? Don't be nervous.
It's less I'm nervous, more I just got home and I was like paying attention to something else, and I thought other people would go first.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry. I
But-
didn't mean to give you preferential treatment, but I did because you're also a streamer, and this is nepotism. It's streamer
got it.
nepotism.
I'm just famous now.
Yep.
But yeah, it comes out on Friday for those people asking, and instead, since it comes out on my birthday, you should send me $60 instead.
Happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
I will not be sending you $60.
Wow, some friend.
I know, I'm dog shit. You can send me
But-
$60 if you want.
You know?
Oh, that's a shame. I guess we're even then.
Maybe. But yeah, I did see one thing. Did you play Dragon Age Inquisition?
No, I've not played the Dragon Age games.
Okay. Well, it came out almost 10 years ago, and it was it looks infinitely better, the magic in it, than Hogwarts Legacy, which everything just looks gray and
yeah,
everything's muddy.
The thing I compared it to on Twitter was Fable 2. I don't know if you ever played Fable 2. Did you?
I played 3.
Okay, similar, man. It just feels very like button mashy. Point at the guy and push the button, and it'll zap him with a different color thing depending on if you choose, you know, fire, whatever.
Yeah.
It looks basic and unimpactful, but who knows? I don't know. Either way, not getting it. At best, I'd wait, it's Twitch. I don't think I can say that. At best, if I were
sail the seas.
If I were walking around and found a copy somewhere on the ground for free, maybe I'd play it. But other than that, no, I don't really intend to. It is what it is. It fucking sucks. I just wish J.K. Rowling was not a factor in this at all.
Yeah, it's also been interesting, like, I don't know, because my parents are older, so they're not on the internet.
Yeah.
But I had to, like, explain to my mom, I'm like, hey, here's why J.K. Rowling really sucks now. Because she's, like, retweeted and, like, supported people who, like, openly said, like, hey, we should just, like, kill trans people in the streets. I don't know if you know about that one specifically.
I don't know about that one specifically, but fucking yikes.
It's a time. But anyway, I will let you get on to the rest of your stuff. I have dinner soon, and then I have to stream myself.
Alright, it was good talking to you.
You too.
Alright, later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. MH Dark Beast with 50 bits says, did you see there's a trans character in the game? Those buying the game to stick it to the trans community are in for a surprise. Of course, it has the typical terrible trans naming. Yeah, I saw Serona Ryan. Good fucking god. Oh. Alright, let's see who we're gonna bring in next. Let's go with Stromboli for Wi-Fi. Stromboli! How art thou? You're muted.
How about now?
Patient. Good. Hi.
Hi, Hannah. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
It is for everyone, pretty much.
Yeah. I just had, like, I guess maybe 3 fairly quick questions.
Okay.
2 that kind of sound the same. One, what is your opinion of Jon Stewart and his whole, like, kind of legacy?
That's tough. I don't know much about what he's doing more recently. I really don't. But I do know... Oh, God. That's such a difficult question that I'd have to think about, because on the one hand, I respect a lot of the work he did, you know, in, like, 2004... Between, like, 2004 and 2008. You know? There's a lot of really good stuff there. But at the same time, I don't know... Is what he was doing disarming to the right? Is what he was doing making them to be more of a joke than a threat that they actually are? Was it... I don't know. It's tough to say. I really enjoy a lot of his work back on The Daily Show, but I'd have to think long and hard about the long-term political influence of, like, the comedy centralization of news during that Daily Show Colbert Report era. I don't know.
I think it was pretty good for its time. I don't think we would have had, you know, any kind of, like, figure like Trump really kind of make it through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
I really respect him for leaving the show when he did. That way he could have, like, Trevor Noah kind of have the lead up to the primary for 2016. And I see him kind of doing that now with Trevor Noah leaving before we get for the 2024 election. I just kind of feel like we, like, all the alumni casted such a wide net of the same basic kind of formula that just kind of, like, watered it down a bit. And I don't think we really have right now anything kind of on the, like, the loose left, you know, the one where you can actually watch with your kind of liberal parents and kind of laugh along with right wings. I don't think we kind of really have that anymore. So I think it just kind of...
The closest thing I can think of might be, like, the Jamie Oliver, or not Jamie Oliver, no, wait, what's his name? The John Oliver, yes, the John Oliver program on HBO. Is that still on? I guess I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they used kind of... They used to release all their episodes in full on YouTube, or that they would get leaked. Either way, I was able to see them. But since they moved over to HBO Max, it's been a lot harder. Kind of like you have to seek it out rather than it's on your feed.
Yeah.
And then my second, thank you. But also my second question is, what do you think about Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern?
Jon Stewart. Oh God! Again, I'm not big on the DC stuff, so I don't know much of the differences. I know there's, like, Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart and stuff. I don't know the difference. The only thing I know Jon Stewart from is, like, the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And I liked him a lot in that as a character. In my head, when I think of Green Lantern, he's the Green Lantern because most of my understanding of the Green Lantern comes from, like, the Justice League cartoons. But I don't know. I know when I watched the Ryan Reynolds, like, Green Lantern movie, I was like, I don't really like this Hal Jordan guy. I don't really give a shit. And I wished it had been Jon Stewart, but...
Yeah, for me, it's I think Jon Stewart, so originally he was an architect and they changed him to a Marine, but I kind of liked him as more of, like, an architect just because it makes more sense to have a little more creativity with the kind of weaponry that the Green Lantern can manifest. Like, I don't know if you recall the episode that he was turned back into a kid, like the rest of the team were into kids, and they all kind of went, oh, I could use a snowmobile, or I could use, like, a catapult, and, like, there's so much more variability as a Green Lantern in that when you have that kind of background. But I kind of feel like if they switched back to Jon Stewart, I mean, the quartering be on that shit in half a second. It's like, oh no, it's woke DC movies because they had he's been a Green Lantern for, like, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
I think isn't James Gunn and his new DC, like, slate, doesn't that include a Lanterns TV show starring both Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan as, like, buddy cops? I thought they said they were doing that.
I haven't seen that. I saw you mention that earlier in the stream, but I wasn't aware of the James Gunn announcement. I try not to look at DC stuff too much just because, you know, I don't like getting my hopes up.
Fair.
But yeah, that might be something to look into. Yeah, a buddy cop would be kind of a neat premise for a Green Lantern.
I will say, just from like a perspective of someone who likes Marvel more than DC, I love the Green Lanterns as a concept. Like the idea of creating these constructs out of your will is great, and I think that's cool. And the whole Oa thing and the mythology involving the lanterns and the different colors, I think that's all interesting. The least interesting thing to me is when any of the characters uses their ring to like make a fighter jet or a gun or a missile. Like, I don't know. It just feels like you have this endless creativity. You can make whatever you want, and the guy makes a gun? Like, I don't know. That's boring.
I'd agree. And I think that's maybe my main thing against Hal Jordan, just because he's, a pilot. Okay, yeah, fighter jet. Yeah, he knows what he... Well, thank you. And then I guess the third thing is, when cheese stream? When are we going to get like a full-on, like, this is how cheese is made, or this is Hannah reviewing a cheese selection that she gets? When's that in the works?
Here's the thing. I'm a cheese slut, but I am not a cheese sommelier. So, like, I'll eat a bunch of cheese and I'll be like, this cheese is fucking good. But I can't tell you anything about the cheese. I can't be like, oh, this has nutty, buttery notes. I'll just be like, I just want it in my mouth. I don't know anything about it. It'll just be a disgusting dairy mukbang. It'll be so disgusting, and I'd fill my body with so much dairy, everyone in chat would get diarrhea. That's how bad it would be.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair. Okay, let me rephrase it. What cheese would you want ordinary sausage to sausage the most?
Parmesan cheese.
Yep, okay. That's a solid answer.
Okay. Or sharp cheddar. Sharp cheddar would be good, but I think he already did that, so...
Well, I think he did steak boiled in it, but anyway. Well, thank you for your time, man.
Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Have a good night. All right, let's see who's next. Let's go with Mal. Hello. Jay Rodimus, thanks for 14 months, says, woohoo, 14 months. You're muted, by the way, Mal, if you don't know. Give a second to see if it's just a muting issue or AFK. Doon 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 do 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 doon 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 do doon 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 doon. Oh, okay. Gonna try and re-enter maybe. I'll bring someone else in while you try and figure out the technical difficulties. Phoenix of Chaos, you're up. Hello. You are muted, by the way. A lot of people are muted when they come in, so I'm just reminding them. There you are. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Hannah.
Hi.
Sorry, off work. Give me a sec.
You're good.
Long day. Them long days. What can I say? Anyway, this is Penny Kagegami from your chat.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to call in and thank you for all the entertainment, for one thing.
Thanks for watching it.
And, well, frankly, you and a few of your friends and you guys kind of pulled me over from stupid crap like the quartering. I actually used to be a quartering fan.
That's interesting. Can I ask what specifically made you finally go fuck this guy, or like, ew, I'm not into this?
Literally you, actually.
Like what's particularly just me making fun of him, or like what was like? Oh yeah, she's right.
Well, the P stream didn't help.
Yeah. He got drunk again recently. I don't know if you saw that, but he got drunk on stream.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. But I'll be honest, as I started watching, I believe it was Surus's videos offhand, because I'm trying to remember my leftist journey timeline here, because I actually found you through Surus.
Okay.
Because I saw like your video on, God, I can't even remember that the joint stream you two did on that dipshit. I forget what his name is, and Baz.
Oh, Baz FCC, yeah, that guy. I haven't covered him in a while.
Yeah, and his awful dog shit. But as I just got my news, because I don't watch news, I get it from YouTube. And so originally, the Quartering was one of the guys that I got it from. He wasn't the only guy, thank God, but thank God, but he was one of them. And as I just got news, and he just kind of faded into the background, and then I started seeing some of the same stuff he covered, and it's like, oh, well, that's different. And I think it's more just the fact that there is a genuine difference on how you and other lefties just cover news. I mean, Jeremy just reads the shit. That's all he does.
Mm-hmm. I want to know how. Honestly, I like what I do, but sometimes there's the little devil on your shoulder that goes, "Man, the Quartering. All he has to do is read articles he hasn't read for 5 minutes, and he makes ridiculous money." Hydrate.
Yeah, I know, and that's what's so frustrating. And I honestly, I gotta be honest, I think it's because the algorithm protects, for the most part, until they branch out. See, I'm generally into, like you, I'm into nerd culture. In fact, even though I grew up on Batman the Animated Series, I always, if you were to ask me my top 3 superheroes, Batman is number 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my top
who are your top
are
3?
like, my top 3 are more are Spider-Man, Wolverine, and the Hulk.
Okay.
Basically, I kind of have always liked the storylines that kind of propose the what does it mean to be human.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, Hulk and Wolverine scratch that itch, and frankly, Marvel scratched that itch way more than anything DC could ever do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was the general nerd culture. I can't even remember what the. I wish I could remember what the first Surus video is, but I just kept seeing Surus popping up in my feed. I also like watching like Dominic Noble and shit like that before I just got lucky with the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
But I think genuinely, when you can start to see what a more thoughtful coverage of just news or anything in general, rather than the same repetitive bullshit over and over again, you start to realize how vapid people like the Quartering are.
Are you telling me I should cancel my 67-part series on Brie Larson? Because that was going to be big.
Oh, yeah, well, what can I say? You gotta go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Hey, look, it took at least 67 times to get the web shooters right, so, you know. Look how well that turned out.
Yeah.
I mean, he only splatted into the wall, what, 10 times?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to the Quartering, and there's just those little things that, and I guess it's, you know, just one of those idiosyncrasies of human behavior in general that until you stop and think about it, you don't really realize how little thinking you're actually doing, kind of thing, if that makes any kind of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or sounded incredibly repetitive. Because, like, I never noticed how much, and to be fair, a lot of the more drama news YouTubers do this too. It's not like he's the only one, but that whole pathologically afraid of the algorithm that he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how he'll avoid saying sexy, he'll avoid saying, saying porn or anything else. Yet they roll their eyes at you telling them don't use the R slur.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're the bitch that's afraid of a tiny dent in your immense revenue stream. Give me a fucking break.
Which is wild to me. If I was big as the Quartering, I wouldn't even give a shit about ads. I'd just run off Patreon or something so I wouldn't have to give a shit what YouTube did with, like, you know... But that's just me.
It also doesn't help that it's not until I started watching your guys' stuff that I realized in hindsight, holy shit, yeah, he just pre-records all his ad reads and uses the same one.
Yeah. A lot of people do that in fairness, but like, yeah,
Oh, but a lot of them try to be at least slightly less obvious.
Yeah.
Like, and I legit feel insulted in hindsight, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think also the thing that drew me in, of course, you know, I'm a big I'm a gamer. I don't do online gaming because because anytime I played multiplayer, I got my ass kicked by all my friends. So compared to other people, I suck.
As long as you're having fun.
You know, I've platinum Sekiro, but I couldn't duel a guy to save my fucking life. Which, yeah, Sekiro was hard, but anyway. But of course, I got dragged into some of that Gamergate drama, and the funny thing is it's not that I always thought like Anita Sarkeesian and that shit was wrong. But I definitely felt that little triggered, vulnerable masculinity bullshit, and it's just so stupid because once you realize what the trick that's being pulled on you, that it's just where this thing makes you go ick, and you're having a knee-jerk reaction to it. And that's all of the bullshit on the right is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you realize that, it's like you realize just how cheap all of it is, and it's just sad.
Yep, it's an ideology that basically exists to try and explain why they feel icky viscerally about specific things that are new to them.
even though there's no reason for you to feel ick. You just feel ick over a thing, and you can't help the fact that you feel ick. I still get uncomfortable at the, you know, I'll admit it, I get a little uncomfortable at the idea of like a gay person around me for like half a second, and then I realize the problem.
That's a little weird, if I'm being honest, but okay.
Well, no. Well, I understand that, but I realize that the problem's me. It's not them. The problem is me. And then when I realize that and I settle down, it goes away. I can't control the knee-jerk reaction. I can't control the emotion, but I can control what I do with it. And I realize that me feeling weird about whatever isn't that thing's problem. It's me in 9 times out of 10. I am a white dude, and to go to college, I had to ride a bus for 2 hours. When I got into the inner city, I was the lone white guy on a bus with a whole bunch of black people, and for the first time, I got to feel like a minority, and I got uncomfortable. And then I realized, oh shit, this is what they feel like the whole time. Fuck.
I think you're moving in the right direction. I'll say that.
Well,
you're working on retraining yourself, but I'm not gonna lie, some of this is coming off as a little yikesy. I know you're doing your best, and I'm glad you're working on it.
This was also a decade ago.
Okay, that's better.
I'm 30.
Okay. All right.
I'm 30, and it took me 3 days to get over it.
Okay.
Like, and then I took naps on the damn bus. I didn't give a shit anymore.
Well, I'm glad.
I know, but I also grew up in a Republican family. I have like one aunt and one uncle who vote Democrat. Everyone else votes Republican.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of shit I had to deconstruct.
Right.
I'm just being honest.
No, I get that, and that's your experience, and I'm glad that your progress is progress.
No, believe me, I understand that what I'm saying is bad. I understand that I used to suck ass. I get that. It's fine. I'm self-aware enough to know that I still have a ways to go. Okay. I still occasionally make the yikesy argument when I'm trying to help explain to my family, like, no, cops suck ass. You are wrong.
Well,
on the plus side, my mother understands why BLM was important, so there's that.
That's good.
But yeah, I know. I've torpedoed any credibility I had in your chat for a while, haven't I?
I think people understand as long as you're continuing to work on yourself and being self-aware, and that's important.
Nowadays, every time I hear the woke, oh, this thing's gone woke, I just roll my eyes and like, okay, cool, now explain why it's bad.
Sure.
And at the end of the, I don't know. I'm rambling. ADHD. What can I say? Yeah. It doesn't help. The thing that really terrifies me is seeing the people that I was leaning to agree with a decade ago. I now realize that those people would want me dead if they had the chance. I'm in an interracial relationship, and and that's one of the things that whenever one of my family members or people that I know might wonder why I care about this kind of stuff, why I delve into learning about all the various ways capitalism and our society are fucking us over, it's like, I have skin in the game. That's why I care.
Well,
also, it's just general to be nice.
Yeah, being nice is good.
Being a good person, is a good thing. I don't like the idea that my son is gonna get fucked over by the system. I hate that, and I hate that there's barely anything I can do about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've had this change and have reoriented yourself towards better political ends.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I live at least in a state that's at least trying to be better when it comes to LGBT stuff.
What state's that?
I live in Maryland. And we're actually getting rid of the trans panic defense, thank God.
That's good.
When I heard about that, be nice if, gay marriage was better protected, too, but... I will tell you one thing, though. Going back and looking at, your old Hannah and Jake stuff really makes me annoyed that I still hold on to the God belief, because a part of me wants to be an atheist and I know I'm not one.
That's fine. As long as you're not hurting anyone with your beliefs. I disagree with you, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah, no, I don't. As far as I'm concerned, God just lets us figure that shit out at this point, and it's and if he loves everybody, he loves LGBT people, he loves trans people, he loves gay people. And it sickens me that somebody would go, oh, well, my Sky Daddy says I should hurt these people. And it's no, you want to hurt those people, and you're using God to protect yourself from the fact that you're a bad person. But anyway, I have held up the chat long enough.
You're good. This was interesting.
Yeah, I share too much.
Oh. All right, well, thanks for calling in. I'll see you in chat.
Yep, see you in chat.
All right, let's try Mal again, shall we? Mal, is it working? It's not? Okay. I'll pull someone else in. The Ender! You're up! You're muted. You're up, though. Are you there? Hello? Hello? You unmuted? I see you unmuted. Is your mic working? Maybe not. Do you have a thing on your mic that you have to unmute here too, like I do? Unmute that maybe? I'll give it another second, and then if you need a sec to do stuff, I'll pull someone else in and put you back in the waiting room while you figure out whatever. Doon 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 doon. All right, I'm gonna pop you back in the waiting room for just a minute. You can figure that out, and I'll pull someone else in. Dr. Goblin? Dr. Goblin, you're up, and you're muted. I understand if a lot of people are AFK at the moment. Some people have been waiting in the waiting room for a while, so I get it. Hello?
Hi, Hannah. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Ooh, you have one of the
I'm well.
clearer mics from people we've talked to today.
I'm really surprised to hear that because I put these bloody earphones through the wash yesterday.
Well, maybe it cleaned them out. They sound pretty good.
Good stuff. How you doing, Hannah? I'm so glad to get to talk to you.
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. It's I've been up for about 2 hours and I'm just kind of faffing about aimlessly. So I saw you doing a call and stream. I thought, well, fuck, I'll wait just a bit more time in the waiting room, but worth it.
Well, welcome. What did you have on your mind?
Well, so I'm Tea with the Goblins in your usual chat.
Yeah.
I'm a huge horror fan myself. I wanted to ask you a little bit about partly your preferences for horror, but also kind of, I sound like an odd question, but your motivations for horror. And I'll give you maybe a bit of context for that question. I'm really interested in why people consume the media that they do, particularly in terms of streaming, but also in terms of like fictional media. And I know that you're a massive fan of, the slasher genre. I wonder if you'd talk a little bit to that, like what's the appeal for you? Because it's a genre I love horror, but it's a genre I've never really gotten into, so I'd be keen to hear your perspective.
That's a really good question. You're gonna make me introspect here. Let's hope we don't find anything scary.
Oh no, introspection, don't do that. It gives you wrinkles.
No, I don't know. I guess I love the horror genre and the slasher genre in general because how do I put this? It's got a lot of character, and it's got a formula that's fun, but also horror, I think, is a really good exercise in filmmaking because often horror films are made with like pretty low budgets, and it's where a lot of directors get into stuff. So you can find like really great effects work and really smart like camera work and ways to make the film look higher budget than it is. So on a strictly like technical level, I think horror movies are quite interesting, especially from like the 80s and stuff when you see a lot of practical effects from people like Tom Savini. I think that stuff's all great. Like last night I watched From Beyond, and that movie has amazing practical effects. But
that's an old Lucio Fulci film, isn't it?
No. I think it's
I'm getting my wires crossed.
From Beyond is the same guy that did Reanimator.
Oh, yeah.
Stuart Gordon.
My wires crossed.
Stuart Gordon. But that's a really good movie, and I think part of the reason I like slashers and horror in general, although From Beyond is a cosmic horror, not a slasher, but it does involve people being killed in sequence, so it's got some, similarities. I think in a lot of adventure movies and stuff, how do I put this? Even something like Jurassic Park, which is another movie that's a great movie, I really love Jurassic Park, and I'm not trying to knock it here, but if you look at like an adventure film, sometimes the danger, filmmaking has its language for showing people in danger. It's not necessarily visceral to me particularly. Like, even in a Jurassic Park, I know that the T-Rex is scary when he's looking at the kids and trying to attack them, but I also know the movie's rated PG or PG-13 and the kids aren't gonna get, chomped up. But
yeah,
in a horror movie or a slasher movie, the vast majority of the characters, side and main, are gonna die. In horrible ways, often. And that's interesting to me. I don't know. The stakes feel real, even if it's silly, like something like Nightmare on Elm Street, the sequels in particular. I don't know. It's just a fun mix of campy, but there's like suspense. The set pieces.
I'm very much the same. I like with horror particularly, kind of what you're saying, because there's a set system of tropes. Like, you know that people are going to die, and they're going to die in particularly horrible, violent ways. But what you do with those tropes, what you do with those conventions, especially when you've got budgetary concerns, I think that's where the real creativity of horror comes from.
Yeah.
My flavor of horror, I really like hauntings, so particularly like Japanese horror, and
like
a
House.
lot of Asian horror has it. Like what's it called? Cairo is a really good one. It came out about the same time as Ringu. Obviously, The Grudge. There's a Korean Thai film called The Eye, which is absolutely fucking horrifying. Sorry, am I allowed to swear on this?
yeah, as long as it's not slurs, you can say fuck and shit and damn, you're good.
And there's a Thai film called Shutter, which is one that's kind of stayed with me for ages, and it's got that idea of turning feelings of guilt and trauma into like a manifestation that haunts you. So I'm really interested in kind of ghosts and kind of supernatural entities that represent something about humans, whether it be trauma, whether it be shame, whether it be things that you're repressing about yourself, which is why queer horror, I think, is really interesting.
Right.
I could go on and on about that, but that's a whole other long conversation. So I think I don't want to hold up your chat too much, but I kind of was thinking about this the other day, and I think the reason why I consume a lot of content from creators like yourself, like Jake, and other kind of leftists, particularly queer leftists, who kind of respond to, the sovereign citizens and to conspiracy theories, to religious fundamentalists, is because it gives us a space to see the worst kind of people in an environment where we are validated and safe, and we can kind of turn the terror into mockery. And I realized I think that's a lot of the same reason that I watch horror, because it's seeing some of the worst things possible on the screen. But you've got that boundary.
I'd agree. One of my favorite subgenres of horror is body horror. And from what I understand, that's not uncommon of trans people. And I think that has to do with, the feeling of being not comfortable in one's own body, your body changing in ways that are horrific to you, like people like me experienced in puberty, So I do think that horror movies and things in general are safe places for us to practice certain anxieties, for us to practice dealing with certain kinds of anxieties and problems, but in, the safety of our couch or whatever.
Term practice is a really good choice of words there. I think it's the kind of, we'll look at what's happening to body reconfigurations on the screen in quote-unquote horrific or monstrous ways, and then you've got a whole bunch of queers going, but actually, what if, it's kind of a and there's a whole bunch of horror films that are so queer coded where LGBT people are kind of made out to be the monster, and you've got kind of monstrous queer bodies that are neither male nor female. They're kind of that terror of that liminal body space. Or you've got kind of...
Sorry, I was just going to say...
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
Oh my goodness, such profligate homosexuals.
So for those who don't know in the chat, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was pretty famous for being the quote-unquote gay Nightmare on Elm Street. Which, honestly, I enjoy that movie, and the queer stuff is basically text. It's barely subtext. But, the problem is the movie, basically, how do I put this? There's so much fun, queer coding, but then at the end of the movie, it feels like it's a conversion therapy story where they turn the main character straight, and that's how he beats Freddy, is with the love of a straight woman.
I feel like
That's
there's
bad.
such a big difference. There's such a big difference between kind of queers watching films that were made predominantly by straight people or made by other queer filmmakers who had to hide behind subtext, particularly the older films from the 30s and 40s who had to abide by the Hays Code.
Yeah.
Then the difference now is watching films that are made by queer people that are modern, where you don't have to hide behind subtext and what you can do with that.
Yeah.
But my absolute favorite films in the whole wide world, I love the old 1930s black and white, the old Universal films of Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
I've got a tattoo of the Bride of Frankenstein on my arm.
That's cool.
There's something about those films. I mean, Jane Whale. Well done, me. James
Whale.
Yeah,
you never know. You never know.
Well, James Whale is gay as a picnic basket, and he didn't hide it at the time when it was genuinely dangerous to be queer. And you see it in all of his
How did I
films,
not know that James Whale was?
And
I didn't know he was gay. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh. That's cool.
Well, you watch a lot of his old films, particularly The Old Dark House, which is an English film. I think it was before he did Frankenstein, and it's got so much it's kind of the film that you feel he wanted to make with a lot less restrictions. He couldn't obviously be kind of as overt because it was still the 1930s, but there was a film that I watched quite recently that it was the way that you're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street too, is that by the end it does feel like a gay conversion therapy film.
Yeah.
It's from the 1940s. It's called Cat People.
Oh, Cat People. Yeah, I'm familiar with Cat People. I don't. I only know it because it's famous for having an early jump scare, the bus scene where the bus shows up.
But sound design in it.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it kind of because I wanted something that was kind of campy and a black and white horror film and had kind of a sapphic overtone to it. And by the end of it, I don't want to spoil it for anyone in chat because I really want them to go see it if they haven't already. But that ending, I had to kind of shut my laptop and go and sit outside for a bit because it rattled me way more than I thought it was, because that ending, it felt punitive. This whole film was... and I looked it up, the guy that wrote it, who did the screenplay, was himself gay. So that made it ameliorated those feelings a little bit, but it did feel very much like a, here's what happens to the gays. It's here's what happens to you, either, die from your own desires, or the law will take care of you. And I hope that's not too much of a spoiler. But I like seeing... This might sound a little hokey, but I like seeing the ways that our queer elders, our queer ancestors used art in order to express themselves in ways that was dangerous for them to do so openly.
Yeah, but, it actually reminded me when you were talking about the punitive nature. I don't know if you're familiar. There was a documentary that I have. What is it called? Forbidden Love or something. It was made in the 90s in Canada, and it was about... lesbians in like the 50s and 60s and them growing up and how they dealt with that. And one of the things they talked about were like romance novels, like lesbian romance novels that existed at the time.
like the giallo novels.
Yeah, like kind of like pulpy, bodice ripper books, but it's like, oh, they're lesbians, scandalous stories of lesbian romance or whatever. And some of the people...
Yeah, I used to have a poster on my bedroom wall that was the front cover of one of those. It was Satan Was a Lesbian.
Yeah. And
I mean, great representation.
True. And I know some of the authors said that it was basically a editorial mandate that you can write these stories, but at the end, the couple has to either die or one of them has to become straight. It has to be... The story had to be, according to the editors and publishers, punitive. So you can have this like gay romance, but at the end they have to die to show it was wrong or whatever. It's really interesting how much of like queer history is hidden through that, through the greater society saying, okay, you can express yourself, but you have to fucking die at the end of the story,
That's a really interesting point, and I do wonder how much effect that's had on... I'm navel-gazing and being a pretentious wanker here, but I wonder how much impact that's had kind of on our communal psyche. If the stories we've had to tell about ourselves for decades, the better part of a century, even longer, have been hinged with, if you want any kind of mainstream success, you have to write yourself and your desires and your community as monsters as criminals, as things that are ultimately punished. Maybe that's why we just want to be punished, Hannah.
That's probably it. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know much about like queer film theory or whatever, but it's all very interesting to look at how culture over the last century or so has sort of dealt with like, oh, LGBT people exist. What are the stories our culture is telling about this, and what does it say about our beliefs and our collective consciousness about these issues?
Exactly. I teach at uni, and one of my the questions I give to my students about any piece of media, be it a film, be it a podcast, a YouTube video, or just an article in the newspaper, is who is it written for, who is it written by, who was it written for, and how does it reflect the current zeitgeist? Like, what's the point of this? Like, what's more the metatextual? But that's another huge long conversation. Look, I won't hold up your chat for very long. Oh, sorry, just before I do, I think before I said Lucio Fulci, his film that I was thinking about was just The Beyond, I think. So that's why I got my wires crossed. It's funny that I brought up a giallo film when you were like, no, I don't like giallo films.
You know,
we will bring you around, Hannah. We'll bring you around.
I'm open to it, unlike anime. I'll give you that much.
You've seen Suspiria, right? The old one?
No, I'm away. I don't want to watch people do interpretive dance. I don't care about their dance. I don't give a shit about their witchcraft.
Fair enough. Each to their own. All right, look, Hannah, thank you so much. You're an absolute delight, and I love seeing you go live. So
this is great. This is mean. I'm gonna call it though. This is my favorite conversation I've had this stream so far. You're great.
Yeah.
Everyone's been great, but everyone's been great, but you're the
has
best.
vindicated me.
Oh, all right. It was good talking to you.
Thanks a lot, Hannah. Take care.
All right. Let's see. What did I miss, if anything? Zozo Horror Show, thanks for 26 months. I think that's it. Let's see who we're pulling in. Sorry, I know there have been people waiting a long time. I'm trying my best to get through, but I'm forgetting the order in which people came in. Greater Boy. I'm gonna pull you in. Greater Boy. You're live on the internet. You're muted though.
Oh shit, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
Alright. I'm good. I accidentally stayed up to 5 o'clock in the morning playing a game last night, so I missed class, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
What were you playing?
I was playing a game on a Discord server of some sort of SCP game.
Oh, okay. I like SCP stuff.
I was surprised to get into it since I don't know anything about SCPs.
They're cool. I've read some of the articles and stuff, but I don't know a ton about the lore. Anyway, what was your question? Or whatever.
I was gonna say, you're like, I know you're into Power Rangers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And did you? I don't know if I've asked you this like on stream or wherever, but like, what do you think about the new suits for the for Cosmic Fury?
Let's see. Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. I'm typing, which is why I'm talking weird. Let me pull it up so people in the audience know what we're talking about. So, for those who don't know, Power Rangers is typically based off a show called Super Sentai in Japan. So, all the suits and everything are typically designed in Japan and then just ported over to the United States. For the first time, Netflix, which now has the distribution rights to Power Rangers, along with Hasbro, is doing an original season, and these are the outfits. Let me pull up the thing so you guys can see it. Now, generally, I like them. I like the capes, I like the shoulder guards, because I like shoulder things on Power Ranger outfits. Maybe it's just because Green Ranger, White Ranger, I don't know. I like shoulder things. Here's the problem, though. Something needs to break up the solid colors. Something needs to break it up. In the last season, they had lightning bolt designs down the center. I think these suits would look a lot better if they were exactly the same, but had that lightning bolt in the center, the black one.
Yeah, the chest is a little too bare.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes off a little generic superhero-y, and I think if they had the insignia, it would help a little bit. But
yeah, and then the kind of like the fake muscles too. I feel is kind of like
it's weird.
I feel it doesn't mesh well with the spandex. Now the costumes for the newest Super Sentai. I know you don't get into Super Sentai, but have you seen the costumes for that?
This one with a bunch of rangers.
No, it's called King Oger.
Let's see.
No, that's a different one. Hold on, let me see. How do you spell it? I'll type it in chat.
What if I just type new Super Sentai suits?
Oh, yeah, that'd probably do it.
Oh, is it the ones with the bull face in this one? There's bug ones and there's
yeah, it's that one. It's that one.
Okay. They look okay. I don't know. Some of the more recent
capes.
I don't mind the capes. I like the capes, but I don't know. Some of the more recent Super Sentais are really busy to me, like this one that I showed earlier. It just looks over-designed to me, but that's my preference.
The Q Ranger.
Yeah. Look at the ones that they used in SPD, for instance. Simple. The color and a number. It's simple. It's sleek. Maybe I'm a Power Rangers boomer, but I don't know. I think simpler's usually better.
Back in my day, there were only two colors. The primary color of the Ranger and white.
Yeah, there you go. Back in my day, only Zordon was the leader, and then that goddamn lady from... Oh, what the fuck planet was she from? Inquirus? She was from Inquirus?
Like something like the Question Planet.
Yeah.
Since she always says things in form of a question.
Anyway,
but this season, because I haven't really been keeping up with Super Sentai. I have been keeping up with Power Rangers though.
Mm-hmm.
But since this new season of Power Rangers is only going to be how much do they say, 10, 12 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna have to find something else to fill that up.
I did in the last season because I liked Lord Zed coming back. I thought that was good.
Oh yeah, and I like how the actor for the voice, the voices for Lord Zed after the original voice actor passed away, they've been getting a lot better. I think it's the same person, but they've just been kind of upping how they do it. They've been.
I don't think it is the same person because I thought the person who had played Zed died.
Oh no, it's the same person who's played him after that.
Oh, I got you. Sorry.
But I do like how they're starting to make Zed sound a lot more like the original voice, or at least close enough to get the same vibe.
Yeah.
Because Lord Zed's pretty badass, and I like how they're still showing him as a threat because the Rangers never actually beat him.
Oh, I love that shit. I wouldn't mind, I don't expect Power Rangers to end anytime soon, but if they ever did do a big final thing, Lord Zed would make a really, really great final villain for Power Rangers, I think.
Yeah, and I low-key kind of don't want them to be able to beat Zed on their own.
Yeah.
Because I feel it should be something that, all of the Rangers, or a bunch of different Rangers would have to team up in order to beat him, since,
Does Titanus still exist? His big-ass Zord that was like a dragon?
Serpentera.
Serpentera. Was that destroyed in Forever Red?
I think it was destroyed in Forever Red.
Oh, that sucks, because they should bring that back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they can bring Zed back, I'm sure they can bring Serpentera back.
That's true. They did bring him back via some time travel copy duplicate bullshit, so...
Yeah, I think they grabbed him from, the past when he was the most evil.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Another thing I've been really getting into, because I've been watching with my friend, I know, it's that just live action anime shit. I've been really getting into Kamen Rider, and there's apparently 2 English Kamen Rider shows done like Power Rangers. There's Masked Rider, which had a crossover with I think Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in season 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another one called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight that is like it's the same idea where it's like it's doing its own story, but it's using the Japanese fight footage. And I've really been wanting to find it, but I can't find it anywhere because other than like on like, you know, pirate sites, that's pretty much it. But,
at least you can find it, I guess, even if it is through less than legal means. I had to do that at some point with this is far from an anime or anything like that. I don't know if you remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV series that was on Disney Channel.
I am aware of it.
Yeah, there's like 60 episodes, and there's no official way to watch them, not even on Disney Plus. So I had to.
Seriously?
Yeah, I emailed Disney Plus. I'll have you know. I said put Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV series on there, and they haven't.
Excuse me, I want to speak to John Disney.
Can I please
I need to
speak to the
Disney.
manager?
I mean, it's so weird that there's a lot of just lost content out there.
Yeah.
It's just probably never gonna come back unless somebody has it, like, on some website.
It's only gonna get worse as time goes on.
Yeah, especially since things aren't getting physical releases anymore.
That's why I like collecting stuff on Blu-ray that does exist. I know I have it, and that's what matters. I have it.
Yeah.
In the post-apocalypse, I will run a movie theater with a generator, and people can come and watch movies and pay me in fuel or water.
Yeah. See? It all works out.
Yeah.
That would be good for morale in such a situation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wanted to gush a bit about tokusatsu and stuff. What do you think about Billy coming back though?
Oh, I think that's great. I feel bad
Yeah.
for the actor, for David Yost,
Yeah,
and I'm
David
glad
Yost.
he's getting a chance to come back. And hopefully, I don't think anyone involved with Power Rangers originally is still involved. Like Haim Saban has been dead, I think, for years.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't know. Either way,
If he's dead, then I'll be somewhat pleasantly surprised.
Either way, I hope someone on the production gave him an official apology for the homophobia and shit.
Oh yeah, because like they like really did some messed up stuff to him.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that interview, because he actually came to my hometown. I had him sign my Blue Ranger costume.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. You know what sucks? I have a Jason David Frank signed photograph that someone got for me, but it has my dead name.
Ah, damn.
I can't even get it fixed now. He's fucking dead.
That's yeah. You know what was crazy about that? When he passed away, I was actually in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no phone, I had no access to anything. So I had no idea until I got out of the hospital. And I was just like, oh wow, ooh, Jason David Frank is trending on Twitter. I wonder what happened. Oh, I'm sad again.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. Wonder what happened. I mean, I know he's going through like a pretty bad divorce.
It was a divorce thing, I think, and it was just general. I'm sure it was personal bullshit. I feel bad. It sucks, but you know, whatever. All right. Anything else?
I think that'll do it.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. It was good talking with you.
Yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, I hope you guys are still enjoying that D&D table.
We are. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Later. Let's see. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, I absolutely love how passionate people, especially in this community, can be about media, but my toxic mask ass can't not hear this in my head. We're doing our best, damn it. All right, let's see who's coming in next. Mellow Yellow. I'm grabbing you. Mellow Yellow, you are muted.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, it's nice to talk to you. I've been like in your Discord server a long time ago, and yeah, I just wanted to say hi.
Hello. Glad to talk with you.
I like to listen to your streams a lot. Mostly because when I was younger, you used to do the Bible Reloaded thing.
Yeah.
And I used to watch that because my family's like super conservative religious types, like embarrassingly religious. Like So I thought I'd share a couple fun stories from, my life.
Okay.
And, I don't know, just chat about it,
Alrighty.
So when I was younger, I had family members who were part of like this Southern Baptist group, right? And they used to think people were possessed. So at one point when I was really young, they had because I was born intersex, by the way, so I'm a trans woman. But they thought I was possessed, and so they all surrounded me and decided that it would be cool to try to exorcise the demon out of me, because my grandmother and my mother when I was younger thought that because I was behaving like a boy because I was going through hormones, that I was a demon, and it was a very difficult time. So I just thought I would share kind of fun little snippets,
I'm so sorry that I know in hindsight a lot of stuff like this is it wasn't that crazy, but that's so sad. I'm so sorry that they did that and interpreted these things this way.
I know. It was just for women who are trans, things can be kind of weird. And when you live in a with a family that's so religious,
yeah,
things can be so bad. But I'm gonna let you go. So I just thought I'd share some random cute little thing, and I actually have someone knocking on my door, and I feel really bad. So nice chatting with you.
You too. I'll see you later. Bye.
Have a nice night.
You too. All right, let's see who is next. Try the Ender again, maybe? I think Ender, it wasn't working before. Let's try again. Ender? Is this gonna work? Is it working now? You're muted?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Hello.
Yeah, okay, perfect. It put me to automatically push to talk, and I didn't have that button set, so I had to do that.
Okay, cool. Tech issues. I'm a boomer with tech too, even though I work with it all the time, so I get it.
So I wanted to just maybe ask a few questions about Doctor Who.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd answered any or anything like that, but
I don't even remember. I've been going for over 2 hours now. There might have been Doctor Who questions. I don't remember. That's my ADHD. Once it's I don't have object permanence. Once the conversation's over, it didn't happen.
That's fair enough. So I've only seen from Eccleston up until the end of Capaldi. I watch it with my friends, and we take a break in between each Doctor, so we're getting ready to start the newest. Well, for now, the newest Doctor. But I was wondering, do you think Eccleston would be more people's favorite Doctor if he had a longer run, a longer season?
I definitely think so. I think if he had stayed for another season or two, he would definitely have a bigger following. I think he's great in what we saw of him in the first season. And I know he's been doing audios for Big Finish. I haven't heard them, but I imagine they're good because I think he's a really good performer. But yeah, I think the fact... It's sort of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I think it's brilliant that the Doctor, for the first season of the reboot, only lasts one season. It sets an expectation for the audience. An audience that maybe hadn't seen Classic Who goes, oh, I liked this first season, but all of a sudden the status quo is changing quite a bit. It sets the expectation that Doctor Who can change, and I think that's important for the show. And I think if Eccleston had stayed for 3 seasons, and then there was a regeneration...
People would have got too comfortable with them and then be like, oh, I don't enjoy this anymore.
Yeah, I think it might have hurt the popularity of the show. So I think, as unfortunate as the situation was that made him leave, I know he was butting heads with some of the crew and stuff at the BBC, and there were he didn't like how certain people on the crew, I think, were being treated. Either way, it sucks the reasons he left, but I do think it helped the show in the long run that he did leave. But I also think he's excellent, and I wish we would have gotten more seasons with him because he really, really was good at it. I think he was great at being the Doctor.
I also agree. So that was one thing I was wondering. I got a few all my questions are Doctor Who related because I don't
All
really
right.
have anybody I know personally who likes Doctor Who besides my one friend.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite like one-off character? Just for reference, I really enjoy like Bonacafalata a lot. I guess partially because his name, and I
Which
don't know.
one
I
was
just really
he
like
again?
that arc.
Remind me.
I forget the name of the race, but it was the episode with the angels, like the one angels, and he was the cyborg. I forget the name of the race, but he
Like the angels
like-
on the space Titanic?
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And he like EMP'd them. He's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Do you have a particular favorite one-off character?
That's a really good question. Let me look at a list of Doctor Who episodes real quick.
Yeah, because I mean, I think Doctor Who excels at that in particular.
Yeah.
And then there are so many characters that like you could almost consider one-off, but they've been in like 2 or 3 episodes.
Like, I
right?
like-
I would consider that.
Like, I like Oswin, but she's been in multiple and she works for UNIT, so it's kind of like hard to... I
Consider
liked
that. I mean, that's,
Sally Sparrow from Blink, but that's almost a cheat because she's basically the main character of that episode. I don't know. That's tough. There's so many. I'd have to take a literal look at let me see. List of Doctor Who side characters. I also would have said Nardole had Nardole not become a series regular.
Nardole is fantastic. One
Yeah.
of my favorite characters in the entire series.
I thought the little girl from people are probably going to disagree with me on this one because some people really don't like kid actors, but the little girl from what was the one with the sentient son, The Rings of Akaten, I thought that was okay.
Yeah, it's as far as I remember. Like I said, I've watched through once, which I mean, anytime you watch through something as complicated as
Yeah.
Doctor Who one time, it's a little hard to parse it.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I remember liking that.
The cat nurse, the main cat nurse from the second season when they go to New York, and she's like the cat
Yes.
nurse. I like her.
Yes.
She's pretty good. Oh,
Okay.
Face of Bo's good too. There's a lot of good side characters that only show up once or a few times.
Yeah, Face of Bo's fantastic. Without saying anything else, I do enjoy that whole. I also like that Doctor Who has those like, they feel like they're not story arcs, but then they end up being like an important story arc,
Yeah.
which is incredibly. I feel like it's super unique, and you don't get it very much.
Yeah.
Another question. Do you have a favorite bottle episode then? I have a few. Like I like the Mummy on Orient Express, of course. Like Blink, Heaven Sent, Midnight. Vincent and the Doctor is probably my favorite though.
Does the Doctor's wife count? Because they kind of split. The Doctor is stuck on the asteroid outside of time, and Amy and Rory are stuck in the TARDIS. Would you count that?
Yeah, 100%.
I'd
Yeah,
say
100%.
the Doctor's wife is a really great episode. I love that. I also really like the Capaldi episode, Under the Lake and Before the Flood. That two-parter's pretty good, and a fun twist on the sort of base under siege thing, because they travel in time, and there's the whole bootstrap paradox thing.
Okay. Yeah, those are some good ones I didn't even think of. Like I said, it's hard to seeing it through once. It's hard to keep them straight sometimes.
The Almost People is also pretty good in the Matt Smith era with there's the episode with the clone doctor from the Goop.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna go with that.
Then what about do you have which regeneration was the most emotional for you? Mine in particular was David Tennant, which I was crying through like most of it. But then of course, like once he said I'm not what did he say? I'm not done yet, or I don't want to go. That one, it like destroyed me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to say this is just entirely based on the fact that my first Doctor that I watched, like the whole series of, was Matt Smith. I started when the Matt Smith came on, and then I went back later and watched like David Tennant and Eccleston. So that one for me was big because he's who got me into the show, was his sort of charisma and weird energy in the 11th hour. So his goodbye, while it was pretty drawn out, I thought was really nice, and I don't know, that impacted me.
I was gonna say I did enjoy his, but it did feel a little like I didn't have like the deep emotional response. Like I was sad the whole time, but it wasn't like as heart-ripping as Tenet, just because they did like drag it out. I feel like over like 3 episodes almost.
Yeah.
Okay. And horror, to lean back into the horror conversation. Do you have a favorite horror episode? I like the I mean, Midnight is a classic. Listen, and Empty Child. I'd probably like Empty Child and Listen are probably close for me.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Honestly, Listen might be my favorite Doctor Who episode of all time, which is maybe weird, and maybe that's a weird opinion. But the fact, and I interpret it that there is no monster. It's kind of left open. I don't think there's a monster in that episode. It's just about the Doctor being the Doctor and being paranoid, and it's about
isn't. I thought that, like I said, I don't do a lot of the online discourse with Doctor Who. My friend showed me a few episodes and I watched it. I thought that was the interpretation that everyone got. I think it should
from
be the way it was.
You would think, but a lot of people are like, no, there is a monster, and it's like, no, there's not. There clearly isn't, but whatever.
Well, I mean, anything the Doctor's afraid of, he's gonna make it seem like the most, like, horrifying thing ever, right? Because he's not afraid of anything, right?
Yeah.
So the thing, I don't know. I guess me coming in completely raw with like nothing, I don't know. Or maybe, you know, we're just smarter than everybody else. That's possible too, right?
It's probably that one.
Also, who's your favorite companion and why is it Donna Noble, right? Like, I personally, I don't know.
I am gonna say Donna. I like companions when they're friends. Like, I'm not against the Doctor having romantic, you know, interactions with either companions or other people. I think that can be done fine, and has been done well many times. But I prefer when the companion-Doctor dynamic is, like, they're really good friends. Kind of like Second Doctor and Jamie, you know? Like, I like when they're pals, when they're, like, really good friends, and Donna had that going on.
I guess, like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. That might be something subconsciously why I liked her so much. Also, have they ever explained why they did Donna so dirty? Like, her whole arc and like, the way her stuff ended in particular felt so ridiculously brutal to me that it almost felt intentional.
I don't know. I'd have to see if Russell T Davies has ever talked about it. I honestly don't know the reason. But at the very least, she's coming back now, so she'll have probably different closure.
I did not know that. See, like,
Sorry.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. I enjoy the fact that I'm not really in the, like, whole lore thing. So all I do is watch the episodes, and everything's been a surprise for me, which I've enjoyed.
Gotcha. Well, I'll shut the fuck up about anything else. but good news, she is coming back, and there's going to be further exploration of that. So.
Yeah, I'm not one of the. I'm fine with spoilers for the most part. Like, if they're unintended, I don't really mind. I'm not one of those people that freaks out. Another thing is, has John Hurt been in any other forms of Doctor Who media as a Doctor? Because he was I loved him in the episode as the Wartime Doctor. It was like fantastic.
Yeah,
one of my favorite portrayals.
He did some of the Big Finish audios, so you can go to bigfinish.com, or there are other places on the internet you can find them. But he did a couple of. I guess I don't even know how many, but he did some audio adventures for them, which are basically just radio-type adventures. I don't know if you've ever listened to, like, audio. It's like an audio book, but it's acted out by people, sort of.
Yeah, actually, there's it's almost like a radio play podcast I've listened to of, like a zombie thing. I forget what it's called now, but I love those type of things. Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out.
I think that series is still ongoing, too, but with someone else playing that version of the Doctor, because John Hurt passed away, but I know he did some for them.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. How do you feel about James Corden's run in the show? Because I feel like now, like, talking with my friend, he really hasn't been a part of it. Like, so he's like, he's fine. But I feel like a lot of people hate it, and a lot of people are fine with it, and I was like fine with it.
I really like Craig as a character. I don't like James Corden as a person, but I can completely divorce myself from who he is in real life and just like the character. I like those episodes. I think it's cute. but I don't like James Corden.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. You can definitely like sense some of his like stankiness coming through sometimes, but I definitely think he did all right. It's like the only thing I think I've ever even liked him in at all.
Yeah.
But and then I guess this is the last thing, and then I'm a head out.
Okay.
But so bring it back around to politics, I guess, a little bit. The Kill the Moon episode. Do you think was it an intentionally pro-life episode? Or I believe the writer has been on record saying that it was unintentional. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really looked into it, but as a first-time viewer, it was so obviously intentional in my mind that like it was almost insulting for him to say that it wasn't.
I agree, and I haven't watched the episode since it first came out. That's how much I did not like that episode. I thought it was so out of character. Like, everyone was so out of character, the Doctor and Clara, that I was just taken out of it. And like, even beyond the messaging I disagree with on the whole pro-life thing, I just thought it was a shit episode. But it has to be intentional. How could you be so non-self-aware about material you're writing? Like, you have to write drafts and, like... You have to write multiple drafts of a script. Surely they read it and have media literacy to know, oh, I'm saying something here. Like, everything I'm writing is saying something, and this appears to be a very anti-choice message that I'm making. Like, how could they not know?
Yeah, it just felt so incredibly, like, on purpose with the fact that, you know, Clara and I forget the name of the astronaut. They were both women, and they're both like, no, this is like insane. Like, why are we even considering this? And then him objectively being like, I'm not gonna say anything. You guys have to make this choice. And then they make that choice, and they're like, well, I knew the whole time that, that it was so ridiculous that like the thing that came out of the moon laid an egg the same size of the moon, and then that like is what propelled humanity forward. It was kind of it might be my least favorite episode I've ever seen of like Doctor Who. It didn't even feel like a Doctor Who episode to me. So I was just wondering if anything has been said or how you felt about it.
I feel like it's bad, and I feel like it was probably intentional. There's another episode that I really didn't like that was a Capaldi one. In the Forests of the Night. Do you remember that one where the forest grew up everywhere on the Earth?
Yeah, that one also did feel weird. Capaldi, I felt like, had some of the biggest swings of episodes. I definitely think he has like the best episodes in the new Doctor Who, and definitely some of the weakest in my mind.
That's Moffat's MO as like a head writer. He's so weird in that like he has the capability of writing excellent television, but he gets so bogged down in his own ideas. He needs an editor really bad to tell him, all right, you need to get rid of 3 of the 7 ideas in this script. Because you have too much going on, and it needs to focus. He gets up his own ass, but, you know, whatever.
And also, I think I've asked you this before, but I don't. It's been a while. So we just finished Capaldi, and we're getting ready to start, I guess, not the newest Doctor, you know, not the new seasons anymore.
Yeah, Jodie.
What can I expect? How should I go into it? Is there, as somebody who's loved everything besides the few things we've talked about so far, is there a frame of mind I should go in it with, or how?
Lower your expectations.
That makes me really sad.
I hate to be the bearer on that one of bad news, but I do not think Chris Chibnall's era of Doctor Who is very good. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're going to be miserable the whole time. There are plenty of episodes that are fun, there are moments that are fun, but the overall, like, series arcs are terrible. The new villains introduced are terrible. The writing of the Doctor is incredibly inconsistent. And I don't blame Jodie Whittaker for this, who is the, you know, next Doctor for the era you're about to go into. I just think she was served real bad scripts. But
what a Titanic misstep and failure that is then.
Okay, let me
that's
give
very
you
sad.
Let me give you an example. Here's a spoiler kind of for an episode. So, I'm all for, like, including political messages and things, but if you do a political message that's simplified to the point that it's misleading, I don't like it. And there's an episode where the Doctor and her companions meet Rosa Parks, Now,
I've heard a little bit about this.
This includes a plan from the stupidest villain in the history of Doctor Who, a space racist from the future named Krasko. Now, Krasko is from the future, and he has stolen a time agent, what do they call him? You know, like Jack Harkness had.
Those wristwatch things.
Yeah, he's stolen something like that, although I think it might be a little different, but it's the same sort of thing, and he has gone back in time because he is a future space racist, and he hates aliens and non-white people, and he has decided, how am I going to stop racism from being stopped in the future? How will I stop the civil rights movement? I know. I'll kill Rosa Parks, and then nothing else will happen, and that'll stop all progress forever on race relations.
Feels pretty weak.
And that's his evil plan, which makes no sense, and I hate it. It implies that, like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, the civil rights movement wasn't an accident. It was a concerted effort on the part of, like, many, many organizers of political, like, groups. Like, if the Rosa Parks thing was an intentional thing they were doing to start the bus boycott. She didn't just happen to not want to get up that day.
that almost feels like pandering to the next level. That feels like insultingly, like, trying too hard, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. And just from what you've described and the offhanded things I've heard.
And the doctor sucks Amazon's dick for some reason. Like, oh, Amazon's great.
How weird.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, I just because it's like, I know some people who would tell me just to skip it completely, but that just feels, I can't do that. That feels silly.
Yeah, I wouldn't say skip it. I'd say at worst look up, like, what are the best episodes from these seasons, or ones that are important to the plot. I definitely say, let me actually look at a list, and I'll tell you good ones. Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who episodes.
Apparently some of the lore changed. I don't understand why people are so upset at that. When didn't Matt Smith's Doctor change? I mean, it changed a huge part of the lore, right?
Yeah, the lore changes in this group is bigger. You'll see.
Okay.
It's something I think that you can easily ignore, but I'm not a fan of it. Let's see. The Woman Who Fell to Earth, her first episode's pretty good. Demons of the Punjab, which is episode 6, is good. The Witchfinders, which is episode 8, is good. And those are the good episodes from her first season.
Was that like 3 out of 10?
Yep.
Oh no.
The next series is better. Spyfall from the next series and Spyfall Part 2 are good. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is good. Fugitive of the Jejune is good. The Haunting of Villa Diodati is good. Yeah. The Revolution of the Daleks is good. So there are, like, again, don't get me wrong. It's just it's worse than it was under Moffat, but it's not, like, there's not nothing to look forward to. There are good episodes.
Okay, it's just hard to parse, like, because even if I wanted to look it up, I feel like it's going to be hard to parse the difference between people just being, like, woman Dr. Bad and actively, like, normal takes on the show.
It is hard, because I've looked for things, too, that are, like, it's hard to find genuine critical looks at Doctor Who that don't just become reactionary bullshit. Council of Geeks is a channel that does Doctor Who stuff, and she's, a trans lady and does good stuff, so I'd recommend her. Might be they, might be they, them, might be she, they. I'm actually not sure.
I think it's JXE. I did a breakdown on the Doctor, on the most recent Doctor, the Fall of Doctor Who or something. I've seen it suggested a few times, and I've heard it's very good. I just didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to see a full breakdown on the show I haven't watched yet. So
Yeah.
I'll probably go back to that at some point. But okay, well I won't take up any more of your time. I just wanted to, like I said, you're one of the few people who I know that like Doctor Who and are leftists who aren't just going to be like, it's woke garbage now because now it's a black man. It's like, I'm sick of hearing people. I live in Texas also, so that doesn't help. So it's just hard to find people like-minded who like Doctor Who. It's hard to check all the boxes at the same time.
Well, I had fun talking. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. You have a good rest of your stream. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, let's see. There's 3 people waiting. Let's go with Spoopy Sam. Spoopy Sam, you are on and muted. I understand they've been waiting for a while, so if it takes them a second to get back to the keyboard, that's fine. That's on me. Hello? I can't hear you. Is the correct microphone selected? I'll give it a sec. Do. Do you have a button on your microphone like I do that's a mute button? Make sure it's not pressed. Because you can have a mute button that's separate than the Discord thing. I've done that before. Alright, I'll give it another like 20, 30 seconds. Then we'll switch to someone else while Spoopy figures out tech issues. Hello? I heard an echo of myself. Sounded like it was on for a sec. Okay. We will give them a second to figure that out. Let's pull in Screaming at the Radio. No, Cruelty I think was here first. Cruelty! Let me pull you in. Alright, Cruelty, you are in the chat and muted. Feel free to unmute yourself at any point. Ding digga dong, dong dong da dong digga ding digga dong, dong dong da ding digga ding digga dong, dong dong da ding.
Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted. Hello? I can hear you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi. What's going on?
I think there's a delay because I'm running around doing things.
Oh, maybe a little bit. Maybe a lot of it.
But I just wanted to say first, happy anniversary to you and Baja.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And also, I love the conversation you were having earlier with Tea with Goblins. I love film, and I would encourage you to do a film stream.
I think that would be fun. I always feel like I don't feel like I have insightful things to say. I don't know that much about movies. I mean, I guess I know about movies, but I don't know about movie techniques. I don't know about film.
But it's what you like that matters, especially if you had a horror film stream.
That's true. It might be fun. Maybe we'll do that someday. I just have to figure out exactly what we're gonna, like, cover.
Okay, so what are your favorite subgenres of horror?
Slasher, body horror. Slasher and body horror for sure. Cosmic horror. At the very bottom is like haunted house stuff. I don't like haunted house stuff. I don't like people being possessed or the devil showing up or like the Omen. Anything that involves like demons and stuff disinterests me because I don't believe in demons. Like even in like a hypothetical, like I can't buy in. It's too silly for me. So I can't do demons and ghosts and stuff.
I love cosmic horror and space horror. I've just always had an issue with Lovecraft because of, well, you know.
Yeah. I actually watched From Beyond last night, which is like a based on a short story he did. And I was like, ah, well, at least he's dead. It's not like Rowling. I'm not, like, giving him money directly.
Seriously, if his life hadn't been so horrible, I couldn't watch the movies at all.
True.
All right, but my real question from one
You cut out.
is not my typical thing. Trying to work through it. Doomer to another.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. Can you restart what you were saying?
My question is from one doomer to another. How do you have
How do I have what? Sorry, I think
a positive outlook for the future?
Ah, okay. My answer is bad. I don't have a good answer. I don't have a positive outlook for the future. I'm a depressed piece of shit. I'm starting therapy tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, that's the answer. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, that makes two of us. Okay.
I wish I had a better answer. I really do. If you figure out how to make life not fucking horrifying, let me know.
Does therapy actually work?
Therapy is helpful. Therapy is good. That's why I'm doing it. Tomorrow I'm seeing a new therapist for the first time, and we'll see.
I'm stuck in a red state and therapy's not big down here, so I was wondering.
Yeah, I guess if I have to put on the positive streamer hat where I'm supposed to like be where I'm supposed to be able to have the right answer that'll make people feel better, yeah? Because people tend to go to your streams if they feel better, and if you make them feel worse, they don't. The streamer answer, I guess, would be just try and focus on the positive things and focus on the things you can control in your life, the people immediately around you that care about you. But, you know. Kind of generic self-help advice, I guess.
Alright, that'll work.
I'm sorry I didn't have a better
Thanks
answer
so
for
much.
you.
Sorry for being the delay queen.
Oh, it's okay. It's not your fault. I hope you have a good night.
You too.
All right. Let's see who we're going to pull in now. Let's try Spoopy Sam again. Spoopy Sam. We're giving it a shot. Let's see if the tech issues. Yeah, you can have another turn if we have time. That's fine. Spoopy Sam? Yes, no, maybe so? No? Can't hear you. Alright, technical issues still, I'm guessing. Sorry, Sam. Let's pull in Screaming at the Radio, and then we'll do Evil Dead Guy again, unless someone else pops up. Hola, Screaming at the Radio. ¿Cómo estás? Wait, Screaming at the Radio jumped back into the other thing. Come back. You can't run away from me, bitch.
Talking to you. I've been following you for a long time.
Oh, you keep going into the waiting room. Why? Let me pull you back again. Let's try again. Hello?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay, can you mute the stream because I can hear myself and it's an echo?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Could you mute the stream so I don't hear myself in the background?
There is such a delay, it's horrible.
There we go. So how's it going?
There you go. But I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello? You gotta listen to me through the Discord call.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I could hear you the whole time.
Right. Okay, put me back in wait.
Alrighty.
I'll plug in some headphones.
Alrighty. You're good. Let's see what Evil Dead guy has got going on. Hello. Hello? Evil Dead guy.
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Okay. This is actually...
Woo! Back up from
Hello?
the mic. Hot mic. Back up. Alright. Hello?
1 minute. Shit.
You're good. I can turn your
Okay.
volume down on my side. Okay, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My question is actually sort of the LGBTQ horror thing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're a Junjito fan.
Yes.
So you've read Tomi.
Tomi, which one is that?
right.
Is that the spirally one or is that the short story one? Does that have the Arigama fault in it?
No, that's the demon woman that infinitely regrows.
The demon woman that infinitely regrows. I don't know if I do remember that one.
She's like a it's like a parasite that causes people to suffer, and it's like the sort of trope of the evil woman thing in horror. And the big thing about her is that, like, if some of her blood gets into you, you turn into a Tomi.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm seeing
So,
pictures.
what
I actually don't think I've read this one. I've read a lot of his like short stories, but I don't think I've read this. I actually haven't read the full thing of the spiral thing either, because I like his short stories.
Well, the point is that if you interact with her, is that Tomis can grow from Tomi flesh or any aspect of Tomi, to the point where it's really not a spoiler that at the end of the first book, they trap a Tomi in a concrete block and she escapes out of a crack in the back of it.
Okay.
So, if there is so I'm not asking you because I don't think you're like the trans authority and all things that, but you probably have an insight on this. If there was a story where there was a person that wanted to transition and they couldn't afford the any of the treatments, and like, oh, you got hormone therapy, but at this point your body won't last very long because it's a way have to stop it, and they're just at the end of their rope. And then someone goes, inject yourself with this, and then they do it, and then I don't know, you follow that, and then the twist is that like that guy who gave the vial is in jail, and the person comes up and is like, oh, you're back, how was it? And then a Tomi appears, and then it reveals that that person became a Tomi, and that's how they transitioned. And she goes, it's wonderful, thank you. And then like somehow screws him over even more, and like that would be it. Would that be like problematic as a story, or no?
Oh God. Oh, being cast as the problematic, please.
Well, the reason is I ask is because I don't want it to be like trans people are evil type horror. I want it to be like a horror story that has a trans person, and it makes sense when, you know, somebody injects Tomi blood into a baby and they turn into a Tomi. So it's like, it makes sense in the series, but you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to write a story where it comes off like trans people are evil.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think it inherently, at least in terms of authorial intent, has to be that. But at the end of the day, people are always going to read into your creative works whatever they want to. So there are definitely people who would be like, oh, it's showing that transition is this evil thing that turns you into a monster. I don't know. I'm not going to full on say it's problematic, but it has problematic interpretations. That doesn't mean inherently don't do it necessarily. I'm not saying that's like, I'm just saying be aware of it, and like if you were to actually like try and do something with that idea, keep that in mind every time you're in the narrative, make sure it would be clear as you can in sort of a, something like that that's not the intent.
Yeah, like the way you could spin it was like a monkey's paw type thing where they got the transition, but it took away their something or something. You could make it work, but it's always that concern, because I see that with like Ferengi from Star Trek, being like, they aren't meant to be like it's meant to be a joke on capitalism being so extreme, someone would do whatever, but then people are like, oh, they mean this, and it's like, no, they don't. Shut up, Nick Fuentes. God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Like I said, I don't think you're ultimate authority, but I figure you'd have some insight more than some people.
You're good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, later. Let's try Spoopy Sam one more time. Let's try one more time, Spoopy Sam. Hello? Oh, do I hear a voice?
Oh, yes. Am I making sounds this time?
You are! You did it! Woo!
Yeah! For some reason, my Discord just doesn't like being muted and unmuted, I guess.
Okay, well, we got it to work. We did it.
Woohoo! I have come to share some good news for myself.
Okay.
And to enjoy it with others. I am in a LARP, and I have been put in charge of getting to write the vampire lore. Because it's a general fantasy, but like most of us are queer. Of course, one of us is going to want to be a vampire at some point.
That's pretty rad. Is there anything interesting in the vampire lore that you have in mind that you would like to share?
So currently, I am working on the guilds. There's still I have it broke down into like it's a little Vampire the Masquerade-ish, because we wanted to give players different options so they could like be a specific kind of vampire if they wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be like a standard vampire build, and then you can specialize with species and guild.
Okay. That's cool.
And for the guilds we have, or that I have written so far, I don't have them statted out yet. It's just like more lore side than it is anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Is the first guild is the monsters, which are your general like Nosferatu, vampires from Salem's Lot, just like they are human in shape only.
Right.
Their humanity only is like.
Their humanity is vestigial. It only exists as a remnant of what it once was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're only human for as long as it takes to get to their prey.
Sure.
Well, that's at least for the Salem's Lot ones.
Yeah.
We have, I'm still working on the name for this one, because I might do a little bit of, like, social classing as well, just for fun vampire politics. The Barons, which are, essentially think like as much as I hate bringing up Twilight for vampire stuff, like the fancy rule, I forget what they're called, like ruling class in Twilight.
I know who you're talking about. The Volturi!
Volturi, yes. Like they don't really want to fuck around with humans. They just want to do their vampire shit and be fancy and opulent. Dracula is another good one for it. They're charming, they can be civilized when they need to be, and it's a very good lure to get people who they want to eat in, but like as soon as they're like, yep, I can eat this person, no consequences, they're dead.
Okay.
I have this one is a little interesting. They're called the Romantics, and they're split into two like sects. They are a group that still has a romantic affinity for humanity. The sects would be the Tortured, which are traditionally ones who still have like a pained attachment to humanity. So like, oh, I have a true love and I have to fight my vampiric urges to not kill them.
The Anne Rice vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael from Lost Boys a little bit too,
Okay,
just to give some good vampires some love, since we've only been using Twilight. And then the second sect for this is the Hedonists, who the blonde one from Diary of a Vampire. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Lestat?
Lestat, very much Lestat. Lestat is basically the archetype for this. Like, they want to drink deeply from the well of life and enjoy all of its spoils, but also like, ooh, look, yummy people.
Nice.
I could party with this person. I could drink their blood. Why not a bit of both?
Yeah.
All may call be.
That's the vampire I'll be when I get bitten by a creature of the night.
And then I have one more that's still kind of like soft in the works because I want to see, because I'm not like head of the LARP, I'm just working on the vampire lore because I know a lot of vampire stuff, and I am the spooky queer of the group. They are the half-breeds, so I'm not sure exactly how we'll do this. I just thought it would be an interesting concept to have, like, oh, they're not full vampire, but they're not full whatever their original race was.
Oh, like a Dampier, sort of, like a half vampire.
Yeah, Dampier.
Okay. Okay.
Blade, Vampire D, Vampire Hunter D, that sort of stuff. Outcasts on both sides, just fulfilling their own concept of justice out in the world.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I'm probably going to add some more, but like that's what I have so far.
Okay. Well, that sounds cool. I've always wanted to try a LARP sometime, but, you know.
It's very fun.
Yeah. I'm too antisocial. I can't deal with new
I like
people.
to get to do the good poke. Listen, but hear me out. You stab someone a couple times with the boffer dagger, and it's just like, maybe this is worth it.
Well, that sounds good. I hope you
you
get
end
some.
up making more friends.
I hope you get some good stabbing in. I hope you.
I will try my best. I enjoy it greatly. I also have a previous character that will hopefully be resurfacing soon. Her name is Rosabella. She is a goblin shanty bard. Very piratey. I love her dearly. She is me saying yes to all the intrusive thoughts, and she's so much fun to play.
Well, that sounds really fun.
And her end fate was that she got to become a fae, so hopefully I will get to play with the other characters as that, but as an NPC side instead of a player side.
That sounds like it would be fun, being like, I don't know. The whole thing sounds fun to me. I know I'm basically saying vacuous statements, it just sounds fun, but it does.
I've actually been working on a holiday to like reintroduce her. So essentially what it is like, I'm in Ohio. It gets cold. It gets snowy once we get into the later months. No one wants to LARP in that. That's not fun. It's chewy. So like it's also half a way for us to have a like full inside day and not have it like be weird.
Yeah.
Is that it's like, oh, it's this celebration and it's a Thieves Day because Rosabella ends up becoming the Prince of Thieves for this goblin fae that she ended up befriending because she stole shit from him. Was like, hey, look, I don't want this, but like, can you prove that I did a good job stealing?
That's
like,
cute.
here, I'll literally give it back to you now. I just want you to say I'm fucking good at this. It's a matter of pride. Oh, also, one of my absolute favorite things is she has a secret familiar that she's been keeping, that she had kept as a secret for like the longest time, and he was a little bat, and his name was Two Bits because, as she tells it, he bit me twice for we were friends.
That's cute.
And he became essentially like a little, I don't want to say god, but like item of worship amongst my friends because Two Bits is the best little man. He is the best little guy. If you do anything to hurt him, both Rosabella and Sam are going on their villain arc. Plot staff, I know where you live.
People always love the familiars.
I've jokingly put, he's a little fruit bat and he can do like sneaky things and scary things. And I had some little floral wire so I could have him like hang on me like how a bat would.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so cute. I love him so much.
Cute.
I think that's about it for me.
Okie dokie. Well, thanks for calling in. I'm excited for your LARP. That sounds very fun.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
All right, let's bring Screaming at the Radio back in, and then I think this is our last caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
I can hear you this time.
And I can hear you, and I can't hear me. It's perfect.
That's great. Yeah, I wanted to thank you for all the content you've been producing over the years.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I even gave you money for the Cristiano brother suit.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, that was epic. Thanks for doing that, actually.
Yeah, that was stressful. I don't ever want to be in a lawsuit again.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've been in lawsuits. They're horrible.
Not fun. Thank you for supporting us in that, by the way. That couldn't have done it without people donating, so thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a simple question. What do we do when content creators whose content we love are creeps? So we discover what happens to the work when it turns out that the author is a creep. Like, for example, I've been enjoying Joss Whedon's work for years, and now, what?
That's actually a good question. That's tough. I think the mileage is going to vary depending on the creator and the creative works. For instance, Joss Whedon, I don't like very much as a person, but I've still watched Buffy. I don't know. I don't... I guess for me, a lot of it... For me, a lot of it depends upon, are they currently making money off the thing? If I am directly giving them money, like for instance with the Hogwarts game that's coming out, I'm not going to do it. But if it's something I could enjoy completely divorced from giving money or support to the creator that I disagree with, that's what I'm going to prefer.
Yeah, but there's a weird effect where sometimes something you enjoyed suddenly becomes less enjoyable. I've had that with music, for example, where I can't listen to some artists anymore.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. It really depends.
It's like, I can even give an example. When I was younger, I used to like Michael Jackson a lot because Michael Jackson is he was a talented musician, unfortunately. I also now think he was a pedophile who molested children. Yeah. So I find it hard to listen to Michael Jackson music. I generally don't, So
yeah,
it
somebody
happens.
In chat mentions H.P. Lovecraft. That's another great example because the writing is great.
Yeah, but he was a racist. He was a sack of crap. Yeah. At least he's dead, though. So.
Yep. Well, some of his writing is actually super racist as well. So that's impossible to read in the first place. But yeah, in Dagon, for example, it's
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. I see I'm last, so I won't keep you too long. I'm happy to, speak with you.
Well, thanks for calling in. I'm glad you got the thing to work. I agree, though. It can be hard. It can be hard when you find out that someone who created something you like is disagreeable. And it's unfortunate, but it's a reality when we know so much about people. Like we do in this day and age.
So I guess don't screw up, please.
I will, I'll do my best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good night. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Right. Bye. Cool. I think that's it. We did it. We did it. That's 3 hours. Hooray. All right, let's see who we're going to raid. Thanks, everyone. We had enough callers to fill 3 hours. That's great. I didn't even know if we were gonna. Cool beans. Thanks, everyone who called in. I enjoyed talking with you all. It was great. Appreciate it. So, we might do this again in the future. I don't know how often, but I thought it was fun. This was kind of a test run, and I thought it went well. So, I hope you guys also got something out of it. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful evening. So let's do the raid. Yeah, sorry you couldn't get connected, Halloween Town. Next time, hopefully. Happy birthday, by the way. I'm sorry we couldn't talk on your birthday. But happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Halloween Town. Happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy, happy birthday from all of us at Bennigan's. I think there are only 19 Bennigan's left in the country. It's an endangered restaurant. Have a good night, everyone. Happy birthday again, Halloween Town. See you guys tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday!